Welcome to the show, man. How you feeling?
You, I feel great. I feel wonderful. I'm grateful to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Ever since I've ever since I've met you and the more that I learn about you, I mean, there's so many facets. Like
Hmm.
there's your roller skating, that's the one that I learned first.
Yep.
Then after doing more research on you, I mean, there's the photography, graphic
Hmm.
design, I mean, even like video production and directing and like
Directing.
where
Yeah.
where does all the creativity come from? Like what put that fire in you? Because nobody's telling you to do this stuff, you know?
Right. I think it really came from my family. So my mom is super creative. Like even coming up, like when we were kids or babies, she used to like sew our clothes. She's really creative. She's one of those. Even now, she does like tutus and stuff like that for little girls, hair bows, the little socks, and all that. So a lot of creativity does come from her. My dad is more like the handyman side, so he can fix stuff and plumbing, electrical, all that. He does that. So I feel like I got it from my mom's side, but a lot of it too is just like who I am and the different experiences I had in my life. Even music, I sing. I used to play the violin. I used to play the keyboard. A lot of people don't know that, but a
Chris.
lot of that came from me being a church kid growing up under the church. You know what I'm saying? So, those different experiences and, me being, and I'm a Gemini too. So I don't know
Mm,
if that got anything to do with it, but I really feel like us Geminis, we like to explore a lot of different things. Like we like to try a lot of different things, and we get bored really easily. So I like to put my hand and try different things, and if I find that I'm good at it, I'll stick at it. I'll stick to it.
mhm. Okay. So it sounds like maybe the violin and the keyboard, just music in general, was that kind of your introduction to different art forms and things, or what did you do first?
Okay, so the first thing that I did was I was drawing and painting. So I was the kid who finished their work quick. So I remember like kindergarten, preschool, whatever. I would always finish my work quick just so I can turn it over to the back because it's nothing on the back, and I would color. Like I would just color all. So I was known for that. Like behind all my work, it was a sketch or something. I just loved coloring, sketching, and all that. So sketching was number one. I don't know if you ever heard of Pappy Land because you're a little bit younger than I am, just a little
Mhm.
bit. But
Mhm.
coming up, it was a show that came on called Pappy Land. So basically, it's this older guy. He would come and he would color and draw. Like it's kind of like not like Bob Ross, kind of like Bob Ross, but he wasn't painting and he was like geared towards children.
Mhm.
So you could sit there and he'll like show you how to illustrate certain things, how to color certain things. And so that was another early memory. So I was always drawing and sketching and painting. And then a little bit later, I was introduced to sewing because, like I said, my mom sewed. So I was introduced to sewing. Now I don't make outfits. I was never good enough to do like full on sewing, but yeah, like my introduction was the drawing and sketching, and it kind of changed the more time went on, because with the introduction of the internet and all that, then I turned into digital art. So my first digital art piece or application was, you remember Microsoft Paint?
Mhm.
Or that's another. Okay, I was gonna say, is that another reference? I don't want to feel so old. Keep asking you these references. You're like, I don't know, but Paint, like how you could just go on the computer and use the Paint app, or what's it called, an app? I guess, yeah. So
Yeah.
that was my early introduction.
Dang, so you were drawing in MS Paint. Some people still draw in that like today. That's their program of
Wait,
choice.
what?
Yeah,
Really? I
absolutely.
need to look that up because
Yeah.
I'm sure it's like it advanced, but it was so basic back in the day. Like it wasn't anything spectacular. Like you can use the different tools and do a little here and there. So it wasn't like it literally was like a blank screen or a blank slate. So now when I work, I always have like a reference, right? If I do a flyer for somebody, normally they have a color scheme, they have pictures, they have all this other stuff, whether it's an album cover, because I do graphic design too. So I'm always starting with something, but with paint, you start out with a blank slate. So you have to use your creativity and make something out of nothing. And the tools were so basic. So I feel like that kind of cultivated, it kind of helped me, my creativity, you know?
Mhm, mhm. So then, like, what kind of things were you drawing or painting?
Ooh. Okay, so I'm a little old. I'm an unk, so I don't remember a whole lot. I be thinking like little time is flying. So I really don't. It wasn't. I know it was people here and there, but I really feel like it was just like randomness, like random objects and such. Now, I will say when I got to high school, I was still known for drawing and painting and sketching and stuff like ninth, 10th grade and such. And actually, the funny thing is, one of my, his name was Mr. Walker. I hope he's doing okay. Lithonia High School, it was this British man. His name
Mm,
is Mr. Walker. He was my literature teacher, and he loved my work. And so he would just have me draw stuff or whatever and like display my stuff. And then I had an art teacher, Miss, what's her name? I know her first name was Shonda, so some people called her Shonda, but she was my art teacher in the ninth grade. And she was another big influence. I know I should know her name. Now I'm talking about she a big influence. I don't know the lady name, but I do know her name is Shonda. Lithonia High School, ninth grade. And I was like, it was like 2004, I believe, when I was in the ninth grade.
mhm,
So she was a big one too, who kind of like um, saw my ability and would always have me do stuff to display or always helping out other people. And yeah,
mm. Hmm, that's so interesting. So then how did these things kinda transfer? Like, was it something where, leaving high school, did you end up going into, like, an art pursuit from there?
I did. So high school, my biggest thing was okay, they're telling you to go to school. And I'm like, okay, I want to go to school, but I want to go to art school. I don't want to just to go. So my number one school that I wanted to go to was SCAD. I feel like a lot of us creative kids in Atlanta wanted to go to SCAD at one time or another. So I actually did a
Mhm,
tour to the Savannah location because there's two different locations. So, and I really wanted to go. I didn't get in, but I ended up going to the Art Institute of Atlanta, which was also another choice of mine. So that was cool. So I took a break after high school. So in high school, maybe like 11th grade is when I really got into like art for real, for real. And so um, what I did was I took a year off. So I graduated 2007, 2008. I went to school for graphic design because I love graphic design. So once I went there, now I didn't finish. Once again, just expensive. Lord, I didn't
mhm,
finish, but I did learn some stuff, and I went for graphic design, and so, and I don't want to jump too far ahead. So, but I'm just gonna say this.
mhm.
Um, I was editing everybody else's pictures and doing all this wonderful stuff. And then I'm like, I want to take my own picture. So that's where photography come from, just because, I wanted to edit my own pictures and take my own pictures. And so I just randomly grabbed my brother and we went to a trail. I bought a kit. It was a T3i, a Canon Rebel T3i kit.
Oh, I know exactly
Best
the with the little microphone.
But
Yeah.
listen, yes, the whole kit from Best Buy, they had the whole entire kit, including the bag, the memory card, everything that you need. So I remember I got my tax refund. Was it working at Chick-fil-A? I was working somewhere, but I just spent all my money, like the whole tax refund, and invested. That's why I'm big on investment because that little investment led to a lot, right? So I invested in a kit and I just took my brother and we just started taking pictures at the trail. So that's where like my love for photography came from, just because, you know, I was already doing graphics and I wanted to just like step it up and level it up. And I feel like when you explore one avenue, a lot of times it'll lead to one another avenue, right? And then you exploring that, then it'll lead to something else. So I started sketching and painting, and then that led to graphic design, with the evolution of computer, the internet, and all that. And then from graphic design, I went into photography. And then from photography, I went into videography and other stuff like that. So,
Mhm. Mm. And was there like a was there a grander goal with all of this, or were you just like, "I'm just happy to follow the journey?"
I'm just happy to paint. I'm just happy to snap. I'm just happy to do what I do, because I really am one who I'm a creative all day. I don't care if you tell me to sweep the floor. If you tell me to paint the walls, I'm going to find a way to be creative and do it. So that's just in me. So when I do art, it's literally for the love. I feel like we all have certain short term goals or different things, Um, but for me, anytime I do any art, even skating, just anything, it's because I love to do it and I would do it for free. That's the thing, because a lot of times when money is introduced, it feels like you're pimping out your gift a little bit. It feels like you're prostituting your gift if the only time that you are creating is to receive money, because it started from a pure place because I love to do it. But if I'm doing it just because for a paycheck or for money and I'm trying to meet these deadlines, that is so exhausting. And I said, that's not what I want to do. I don't want to be one who's just doing this for money. So um, there wasn't like a big goal that I can remember, you know what I mean? But I was just having fun and still am just having fun.
Those are usually the ones that make it far too. Like the ones
Hmm.
that just kind
So
of do it because you'll do it through whatever ups and downs, whether it's in business
that's
or in your
right.
pay. It's like, I wasn't
That's
here for
right.
that anyway. So,
That's
you
right.
know,
Yeah, because there will be ups and there will definitely be downs. But in
yeah.
those moments, the thing that keeps you going is your love for the art, your love to create, your love to take nothing and make something out of it. That's going to
Mhm.
drive you. So I always tell anybody, I'm the biggest advocate. Just do what it is you love. And if something great comes from it, awesome. And if I'm not even gonna say if nothing comes from it, because something is gonna come from it. If you're having a good time and you're authentically doing it, like you're it. I'm big on self care. If I'm doing something and I'm having fun, and if I feel enriched, it's all worth it.
Mm,
It helps your mental.
absolutely. Dang. Hmm. Okay. And out of these out of these different avenues, I think the ones that you've introduced can talk nicer to each other in terms of like being able to blend the lines. But have you
Hmm.
found any ways that you've been able to like cross these different disciplines in ways that like you wouldn't normally expect or people don't normally think to do?
That's a good question. Probably not so much with what we discussed. Not so much with the painting and sketching. I would say more with the skating,
Mhm.
which we didn't really go into just yet. But I would say more with roller skating. With photography, not so much. Not so much. I don't think I found a way to. I think with the photography, I just keep it more, I'm just taking pictures and I'm posting the pictures and I'm just having fun. So I'm really, and even my creative projects that I do. So I do creative projects all the time. The creative projects is just when I'm at a plateau, I hit a plateau, I'm like, okay, I'm exhausted. I don't have any ideas. I have nothing in me what to do. I just get some friends or whatever. And my brother, he's a fashion stylist. Like we just come together, we have a good time and do random shoots or whatever. So it's nothing like groundbreaking or whatever, but
Mm.
it's something that keeps me going. So yeah, when it comes to photography, I kind of, I just shoot my pictures and do my thing. Now, roller skating is a little different because I got more into like the creative projects and doing, different recreations and stuff like that. So I have a little bit more, I don't want to say a little bit more fun. I get a little more creative because even in that, I can mix everything that I do. So when I do different videos, I'm putting together costumes, I'm putting together clothing. Um, I'm using photography and videography because sometimes I record my own stuff. Um, yeah, even like painting, because I be doing costumes and stuff. Like when I did the Proud Family and the Rugrats, when I did these different recreations, I had to paint some stuff and do so. I do, merge all that I do sometimes when it comes to skating and creative projects.
And you even paint your skates too, right?
I do. I paint them. Do I don't even got my I mean, I have fabric on them. I don't even know. They probably packed away somewhere. But yes, I paint skates. I paint a lot of people's skates. Now, I prefer to put fabric on it. So, like African print, I love African print. So that's what I'm known for is putting different fabrics onto the paint. But I also paint them too. Like I did. I don't know if you went to anime. I'm sure
Mhm,
you are, huh?
mhm. Yeah,
Okay,
definitely
because like you're
not like
illustrated.
I've got a couple of them that I really enjoy. I'm not just, like,
Yeah.
all over the place, but I
Okay.
got a few that I'm like, I hold close.
Okay. Yeah, so it's one called like My Hero Academia, I feel like. I had a
Mhm.
friend who she wanted them and so I painted her skates. Oh, also I did what's that called? The Mario Kart or Mario the Yoshi? I don't know. And then the other one, what's the other one? I'm showing my age. Pikachu.
Oh, like any like a Pokemon skate.
Yeah, so I don't be knowing them, but when they tell me they want them on their skates, I just Google them and then like put them on the skates. So yeah, I really, really, really enjoy painting skates.
Mhm. There was one time I think that you had a pair of skates you were gonna paint, and you were like, "What should I paint on them?" You had, like, a little response. And I put
Yeah.
in a fire skate and an ice skate, and that came
Oh,
from that anime from the My Hero, because it's somebody in there that has, like, fire on one side and ice on the other side.
I did that on a skate. It's funny that you mentioned that. I did that on a pair of skates. So one of my friends, he's a stuntman, he's an actor. And so he told me to do the fire on one side and the ice on one side. I'm gonna have to see. But yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that because that was one of the earlier skates I did. And the way he did it though is he already had a pair that was already customized and done like fire and ice. And so when he got a new pair of skates, he was like, okay, I kind of want the same idea.
Mhm.
And so I kind of like I did the original design that he had on his new skates, but I kind of added a little different touch to it. But yeah, people do that all the time. They're like, "Hey, this is what I have. What can you kind of like freshen it up?" And I love to do that. But yeah, the fire and ice was the dope idea for sure.
Mhm. And that first pair of skates that you painted, what was that
The
process
first,
like? I know sometimes, like, the first one is like, "Oh, I should have did this differently," or like, "I"
gotcha. Yeah. So
What was that like?
as far as the painting or just the or customizing them, period. Because I also
Either
do the
one.
fabric. Okay, so I would say when I first started, it had to be fabric. Maybe. Okay, I'll tell you this. Let me go. Let me get my thoughts together and kind of work it
Mhm,
out. So when I first started skating, for the most part, I needed or I wanted to have my skates painted. I didn't trust myself because after doing digital stuff for so long and not really flexing that muscle of drawing, skating, and painting, I was like, I'm not confident that I could do something real dope. Now I could trace and do all that, like that's easy, but like really freestyling, I was like, I'm not really, you know, up to doing that. And so what I did, I don't even know how I found him. It was a guy, I wish I knew his name, but he's in Philly. And so what I used to do probably 3 different times is send my skates to Philly. He would paint them and send them to me. And I loved them so much. And then eventually I started doing my own. So and that's too because it takes of course, I paid him good, to do it because he would do all four sides of the skates and like almost like murals, right? And so I loved them so much. And I was like, you know what? Let me try to do something. So I really feel like it's just because I'm sick of paying money for,
mhm,
paying him to do it, but then paying to ship it. And it was a lot. Then you all that time without your skates. Like I would send it to him. And of course I would give him time to do it. And he always did it in a timely fashion. But at the same time, shipping time on top of the time for him to do it, I can't skate in my skates. So I
mhm,
really just decided to do my own and I just decided to paint them. Now the fabric, I don't know where I got the fabric idea from. I just randomly did that. I'm trying to think what was my first time painting. I did like a Supreme skate, so it was like a black skate, and then it had like dripping down, and it was like the Supreme logo. But was that my first time doing the painting on the skate? Not sure, but for sure, I know African print was my first time, customizing the skate. And I
Mhm.
loved it. Like, it wasn't, I didn't feel like, oh, I could have. Well, you know what? I will say I did pick up some tips and techniques. So the way that I customize skates is not now, it's not the way that I started out. Because of course, trial and error, and you learn different things. Like, one of the things I learned is, before I would take the skate, right? I always use Mod Podge glue. That's a all-purpose adhesive for crafts and stuff like that. So I would get one side of the boot, put the Mod Podge glue on it, stick the fabric on the boot, let it dry, and then I would take an X-Acto knife or a razor blade and cut around it. So
Mm.
that's how I did it at first. But now I find it's cleaner and it's actually more convenient if I just create a guide. So what I would do is I would take the skate and then I would trace on the fabric, if that makes sense. So I will
Mhm.
have four different panels cut out. And so once I have those four panels cut out, then I glue it on instead of gluing it on and cutting it around. So, I have little tips and tricks that I learned along the way.
Mhm. And did you when it came to painting them, was it something where, like, did you get all the materials right the first time? Or did you, um I know for me, anytime I do painting, the varnish
Yeah.
is the thing. Like,
Uh-huh.
I have ruined many pieces using the wrong varnish, using the right varnish the
Really.
wrong way, like, not letting it
Mm-hmm.
dry long enough,
Real.
spraying
Yeah.
too close.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had any of those, like, surface errors that kinda are just
Oof.
like, "Ugh, why?"
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. One of the things I learned, I'm gonna tell you how I messed up, but one of the things I learned is to use leather paint, which I know some people may be like, that's common sense. But when you think about it, a lot of us skaters, whatever, when we talk about skating and stuff, most people just use acrylic paint. Now, of course, acrylic paint cracks and peels and stuff, which is why you want to use leather paint. You know what I mean? And so, of course, I learned that. I use Angela's brand because they're really good. And then I
Mhm.
also learned to use like a leather preparer or glazer, whatever they call it, to strip away that because when you have skates, it's like a clear coating kind of. So you got to strip that away. And then I learned to paint on it. And then, of course, the sealing, because a lot of us, we're impatient. We like, I just want to wear my skates. No, you got to seal it in. You know what I'm saying? So I learned that Mod Podge is really good to seal it in as well. So that's what I learned as far as like painting skates. But one thing that I did learn is I did a pair of skates. They were a pretty pink pair of skates. Somebody wanted a Barbie theme. She was having a skate party. She really don't know how to skate, but she was like, I want to look cute. And so one of the owners, Nikki from Nikki's Skate Shop, the only black owned skate shop in Atlanta that I know about or that we know about, but it's black woman owned, Nikki's Skate Shop. She was the one who brought them to me. It's not for her, but it was for a client. And so I was doing something with the Barbie logo, and then I used some heat, like it's like a heat thing that I use on it, and I kind of almost like burnt the. I feel so bad. Like I've kind of burnt a little bit of the skate, and I was like, "Oh shoot, I can't do it this way." So what I had to do was cover it up with some vinyl and then put it on. And all was well. You know what I'm saying? She completely loved the skates or whatever. But yeah, I definitely messed up a little bit. And then as far as like painting, I really don't have too many issues with the painting of the skates. I really don't have too many issues. I take care of people's stuff like I'll take care of mine. So I just always use a test area now, like if I'm doing a new technique or whatever, because trust me, there's different techniques that you can use to customize skates.
Mm. And did you get to the point where you were doing it on the regular in terms of, like, almost like a whole, like, hustle, like a business, or was it more so
Uh,
you're doing favors for friends and family and stuff like that?
yeah, it was more doing them for me. And then, yeah, kind of doing them for friends too. They'll throw me a couple bucks or whatever. But then once people started to see it, and I was like, I love it, all that stuff. then I start to offer it. So even now, even though I'm in a new city, I do offer it. I offer customization for skates, but one thing that I said I'm going to do is not overwhelm myself. So I don't take a whole lot of orders. I probably, there was only one time that I had multiple pairs. I probably had two or three pairs at a time. But now I'm like, no, if I already have one person skate, I don't take anybody else's skate. And I don't even promote that I do it. Like literally people just know that I do it and they give me the skates. Now I do have because I'm a businessman still, I do have an Instagram page for my skate customizations, just so people can see what I can do, as well as tell me like, okay, I like this or I like this method or that method. So I do have a page and I put out there, but I rarely post on that page. Only when I customize a new pair, I will put it on that page. And the last few pairs of skates, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't put it on the page because once again, when you start to introduce money into something that you do for leisure or relaxation, it becomes like a job, it becomes a business, and it can become stressful because you're trying to meet deadlines. Of course, you know, a lot of the people that I interact with, they skate a lot, and so they don't want to be without their skates for, I can't take a whole week. You know, I try to take a few days max, you know what I'm saying, depending on what it is they want.
You know, it brings me to another point that I had, that I was thinking about this all weekend. I
Hmm.
got to a point I was, like, pretty much, like, triple booked on Saturday. I was painting at a mural festival, I needed to
Yeah.
do a live painting in the evening, and then there was, like, something that me and G made a piñata for, and, and we were supposed to go there and, like, be in support of that event as well.
Oh, that's, you better be booked,
Um,
Frank.
yeah, and it was like it was fun and I enjoyed myself, but
Mhm.
then I found that it was so stressful in the days leading up as well as the day
Let me
of
tell
to
you.
like
Mhm.
to juggle it all. And
Yeah.
there's a point I feel like where you kind of get diminishing returns as like trying to get all the opportunities possible. You know, like I kept thinking like, dang, maybe I should have said no to one of these, or like
Yeah.
maybe I could have pulled back, or like let the net not be so wide. And but
Right.
as somebody who's like coming up and you're like developing your craft, and you're trying to get your name out there, you want to get every opportunity that comes
I
your
know that's
way.
right. That's
But
real.
where do you strike that balance of like ambition and outreach,
Mhm.
but then like how do you not bite off more than you can chew?
Yeah, still learning. Still learning. At 36 years old, still learning that part. I'm better at it for sure. I'm definitely better at it, but um now, just to be completely honest, okay, right? So before lockdown, before COVID and everything, when I tell you them photo shoots, I used to have like on an average Saturday, 5 photo shoots was nothing. Like that's just normal, like back to back to back, just shooting. And
Mhm.
that was like every single weekend. I never had an available Saturday. Even some Sundays, shooting during the week, I was a shooting machine, just shooting, 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 shooting. That's when it got a little overwhelming too, because shooting is just one part. After that, it's the whole editing process. And I'm very meticulous. I could take 3 hours on one picture. And a
Mhm.
lot of it too is because I do creative editing. I don't just do regular editing unless I'm asked, but I change out backgrounds. I put people in fantasy worlds, all that. You know, I'm a graphic designer. So I have fun doing that. So if I do 5 shoots on a Saturday, all week, it's like I have to edit what I'm still shooting during the week. That's the photography side. I'm still a graphic designer, so I have people hitting me up for flyers, book covers, billboards, all this other stuff, right? That's just two things that I do, and I'm not even talking about the other things that I do. But after lockdown and some time, like the work dried up really, 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 really quick. Like I don't shoot or haven't shot half as much as I used to back in the day, to be completely honest. So it's not as much an issue now as it was back then. However, the thing that I had to learn is there is going to be some times, there's going to be some moments where you may have to lose some sleep. but you have to do what you need to do and be a man of your word. But in the moments where you can't do certain things, it's okay. Communicate with the people and let them know what you can't do and what you can do. So if I have a client, if I did 5 clients on a Saturday, I could tell one client like, hey, or ask, I'm sorry. I could ask them like, hey, I'm gonna need a little bit more time. I know I told you about a week I can have the full gallery back to you, but I may need 2 weeks or I may need a week and a half. But if there's somebody who's, their birthday is next week, of course I need to rush it. So I think it's important to communicate with people, but be like prioritize what's most important. If it's somebody's birthday, I'm going to do their pictures first. It's not always a first come first serve. You know what I mean? Unless they just like really need the pictures, then I'll do it. But yeah, so you have to prioritize your time in that way. But keep the lines of communication open so that they can know what's going on and know that so that they know that you're just not at home with your feet kicked up watching TV. Like I'm really working.
Mm, yeah, that's true. I think the communication's like a huge one, and like, I mean, I think that's something that I've been trying to develop over the past 2 years or so.
Yeah,
I noticed like the better I've gotten at communication, the worse. Like I've noticed that people around me weren't the best communicators either, and it's like like
yeah,
I see where it comes where it comes
yeah.
from, but it
Hmm.
really is like super important, and it can save you a lot of times. I think um it kind of comes from that idea of like feeling like you need to do it all yourself or like need to carry the weight yourself, especially like as a man, you'd be like, oh, I don't want to
Yeah,
let people know I got a strong arm it, we gonna figure
for
it out.
sure.
And it's like
That's
it
that is completely real. But like in your situation, how did it go? Because I know you said you had 3 different situations. Were you like proud or you felt like you could give everything to those 3 projects, or were you kind of like, dang, like
no
I could have
I
did a little more?
yeah, I think so. The first one had to leave early to make it
Hmm.
late to the second one. So, like, I
Hmm.
had to leave early and just to make it late, and then the third
Yeah,
one, I didn't even get the chance to make it over there, and, I didn't do the best at communicating either. Like, I communicated to the person that, "Hey, Imma be late to this one, Imma still
yeah,
make it," and then by the time I got to around the time of the third one, they it was like a party, so I was like, I doubt people are gonna be around their phones and stuff like that,
yeah,
and so I kinda just let it roll off, but, I mean, that's not something I was proud of doing, um, but that's just what ended up happening, honestly, and it really just put me in a place of reflection of like, "Okay, like, I need to do better with, like, how I plan my time and what
mhm,
kind of opportunities I pick up, and I need to learn to be more intentional with these things because it's like I was spread so thin, I was only able to give each like each spot, like, a piece, instead
yeah,
of being able to fully be in this place. I'm at one place painting, but then I'm thinking about what I'm gonna paint at the next
yeah.
spot, and it's like you can't really be there like that. And
Does it fluster you,
yeah.
or are you kind of do you let it? Because with
Uh,
stuff like that, I'd be so I can't even focus. I'd be like, "This Lord."
Uh, I think I've done it enough to where like I'm okay with it, but it's not a
Yeah,
place that I want to be in. It's a place like I can be in, and I'll still paint just the same, um
mhm,
but I'm also the type that will mess around and like get caught up in where I'm at.
yeah,
So like I'll be in this place and then neglect the other spot instead of like
yeah,
being here and thinking about it. I'm like all the
yeah,
way here, and then I look up and I'm like, oh
yeah.
shoot, I gotta get over to such and such by this time. And
Right.
yeah, it's rough that kind of way. But
Mhm.
I don't know. It's a challenge though, and it's really like, man, hmm. It just it put things into perspective for me. I'm like, I need to make some
Yeah.
more intentional choices in the future.
Yeah, and it sharpens you, and I feel like things like that, though, it prepares you for greater or what may come in the future, honestly, because in those moments, it's like, "Oh, I'm doing a lot," or whatever, but I do feel like, to whom much is given, much is required, so, I don't think
Mhm.
there's any way to completely, like, eliminate that because anytime you do anything great, there's going to be some moments where it's like, okay, you got 25 different things happening simultaneously, all at once. You know what I mean? But it's just about, managing it, the right way. But the things that you do, the art that you do, that's why, like, you're dope. Like, you crazy. I already told you that. You already know it. Like, you're dope. So, yeah, I ain't gonna say get ready, for more of that, but you're going to be more in demand than you are now. I already know it.
Mhm. I appreciate it. I'm trying to strengthen those muscles now so that, I'll be able to
You
handle
ready?
those once I get there.
Absolutely. Everything
Um,
is a lesson. Everything in life is a lesson. Every single thing in life is a lesson. And it's just about like reflecting, like, what could I have done better? Because like you said, you couldn't do ABC. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I'm in the car, like, at the end of the day, when I pull up to the house, I'm like, okay, what could I have improved on, or what could I have done different, so that next time I don't run into like a lot of the same challenges or obstacles. You know what I mean? Everything
mhm,
in life is a lesson.
mhm. And I had a friend of mine that he's really busy. Like he's
Mhm.
always got like 5 things going on. Like that Saturday is like his Monday and his Tuesday and his Wednesday and like all the days and it's
Oh
ridiculous. And
Lord, God bless him.
yeah, and for him, I was asking him, I'm like, so how do you deal with this? I mean, you deal with this a lot more than I do. And he's like, to be honest, I think about like I try to eliminate the hurry in all of this because a lot of times people feel like they got to hurry up and do this so that they can do this so that they can do this and it's all this like hurry. It was some quote. I'm gonna tear the quote up, but it was basically like
All right.
um the hurry brings worry or something like that. Like
Mm,
whenever, because it's not even necessarily the doing it quickly that's dangerous. It's the anxiety and the like the heightened emotional state
mm,
that comes
yeah,
with it. And it kind of
mhm,
throws you off your game. It throws off your like your cognition sometimes. You make certain decisions out of desperation and it's just not good. Like it ends up making the situation worse. So um
yeah. And
eliminating
us
the
being
hurry.
creative. I'm sorry about that.
No, you
You say
good.
what? Oh, okay. Yeah, us being creatives, like, it's coming from a space, right? It's coming from up here. It's coming from our minds. So, like, we have to take care of our minds, which is why it's important, um, to make sure that how would I put it the right way? Because I ain't gonna lie, I am one of the ones who I'm open with what I go through. I struggle really bad with anxiety. I struggle really, really bad with depression. We working on it. We getting through it. We pushing through. She don't got the victory, but we pushing
Mhm.
through. So in those moments, I have to remember, like, take care of your mind, because if I'm always in a hurry because I'm trying to do this project, then I'm trying to do this project, and I got a million different things, I'm really not focused. Like, my creativity is limited because there's so much on my mind. I feel like if I'm free to do whatever, if I'm don't have a lot that I'm worrying about, I create the best art because my mind is clear and I can lock in and I can focus. But if I'm always in my mind worrying about this and worrying about that, I'm not giving my best self to the project. You know what I'm saying? And I say this all is spiritual, even when it comes to the art or the work that I do. It is a spiritual thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's ministry for real. Like, what I do and what I present to clients, literally, I could give you stories of how it literally changed people's life, how literally they're in the studio crying and all this and seeing themselves in a way that they've never seen themselves. That's why I do what I do. But if I'm not able to do that because of everything that I'm going through and all these projects I'm trying to do, and I'm trying to do a million different things, I'm not able to complete the mission that I need to complete. And that's touching people. That's affecting people. With our, I already know you know about it, like when you present something to somebody who's giving you money and they know that you dope. They know that they're gonna get a good product because the proof is in the pudding. But when they see that it's individualized to them, like, if your mind is clear, you can do different things. Like, for example, my grandmother, she passed away It was a minute ago, but she left books like binders of recipes. Everybody knew Lucille cooked. That's what she do. She cooks and bakes. We didn't know that she had all these binders or whatever with her recipes. And so my mom, she got a publisher and got some, we created a cookbook, and on the cover, everybody was just so blessed and encouraged because on the cover, how I did it was like a cutting board. It looked like, okay, imagine like a wooden counter or just a counter. You have the
Mhm.
cutting board, you have the different knives and stuff like that. And then I just added different things that's individualized to my grandmother. So she used to color a lot. She was so cute. She was so cute. She would just sit there and color like with crayons, like in a regular kid's coloring book or a regular, not the adult, we got the good ones now. We got the adult coloring books that the
Yeah, that's
crazy
the
illustrations.
ones supposed to be going crazy with those.
Yes, I love it. But maybe she had the regular ones, like the regular vector images that she was. And so I added like crayons onto the counter. In the knife, you know how normally you have a knife, but then it'd be like the name of it on it somewhere, like engraved. I put it like the name engraved, like little touches like that people pay attention to and they see and it bless them so much when they see it. So it's like if my mind is not clear to where I'm rushing, I'm not thinking about the small details. If I'm rushing trying to meet a deadline, I'm like, okay, let me put this cutting board right here. I'm gonna do a picture of some parsley right here, and then I'm gonna call it a day because I need to hurry up and submit it. But if I really take my time, like, okay, I'm doing this, I'm gonna put this cutting board here, I'm gonna put this parsley here, but I'm gonna go to sleep and then just sleep on it. And then I'll wake up with fresh ideas like, she did like the color. Let me put some crayons in it somewhere. Or they really like their specialty was cheesecake. So let me put, a card right here with a cheesecake recipe on it. It may not mean nothing to people who don't know that person because you don't know that person, but to the people who know that person, like if I saw somebody put some crayons like that on a book, a cookbook, if I paid somebody else, a graphic designer, to do that, I would bust into tears because it'll remind me of my grandmother. You know what I'm saying? So I can't get so focused in trying to do so much and meet deadlines to where I'm really not giving a project my all, giving the project my full attention, paying attention to little details. It's the fine details. You know what I'm saying? That people that really connects people because, like I mentioned, people who don't know, but the people who do know, when they see those fine details, it means the world to them.
Mm. And people think that fine details don't really matter like that, but fine details are what will get you to buy an iPhone 16 versus an
Oh
iPhone
my God,
15,
yes,
which is like a couple $100 more, but it's just because
yes,
this one don't have that little button, or this one don't have that thing, or it don't do this animation when I press, send on the message.
yeah,
And it's like that's a prime example right there of
yeah,
like the
so right.
details matter. It's the things that are easy to do, but also easy not to do. That's like right
That's right.
where it's
Mhm.
super super important. And
That's real.
some of my like favorite work is when you can look at something and it rewards you for looking longer. When you're like, you can just see it at a glance and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's a cookbook, it's got crayon, okay, cool. But then if you look and you look closely and then you see the name on the
There
knife, or
you go.
like you see, oh, this has, the crayons, or like they have a certain
Yeah,
brand here and like the brand is called this, or maybe there's something
yeah.
hidden in the wood grain on the cutting board, and it's like,
Hmm.
like those are the
Yep.
things, some of my favorite parts about like just illustration in general. It rewards
Yeah.
you for looking, and it makes you more observant of it.
I love that. And then I take that even when it comes to music, because I'm always going to find a way to answer Beyonce. I don't care. But but think about it. So like a lot of times we listen to her music and look at her projects or whatever. But a lot of us who are like fans, we see little things and we be trying to decode stuff like for real, and then like we be piecing things together, and she's intentional as an artist, like she makes sure she does this. So somebody who don't know who Beyonce is, or just like somebody who listened to her just here and there, if they look at a visual that she put out, they may just be like, oh, it looks good, which is gonna look good, right? But us who know her, we like, oh, she did this because she had those shoes on in the Bills videos, or she did this because she, like different little things like that. So I'm that way with art. I'm that way with music. And so because I appreciate when people do that, I can't appreciate it. Well, I mean, I can appreciate it and not do it, but I'm the type, I'm going to appreciate it, but I'm also going to, take heed and I'm going to like follow suit.
Yeah. And I think, have you read that book, The Creative Act by Rick Rubin?
No.
Man, that book is fire. Like when it comes
Okay.
to it talks just about the creative process and like our job as creatives. It's kind of like a guidebook for how you should approach creation. And I mean,
Mhm.
you can do it any way you want to, but I think that this just gives some really good pointers on the creative process. And I remember you
Exactly.
speaking about how your mind is so important and like how you can make work with a distracted mind or maybe an occupied mind versus
Mhm.
one that's just clean and clear and free. And it reminded me so much of a time. It was actually, I mean, really the past like week or so has just been like swamped for me with everything, all these different
Yeah.
shows and stuff. And one of the shows had to design a street sign. So my friend gave me this street sign, and it was like one of the ones where like somebody's crossing the street, like that diamond. And
Okay. Yeah. Uh-huh.
I had to just paint it into something. And I was like, man, there's so many ideas. I'm sitting here like trying to think on it, think on it, think on it.
Yeah.
And there's like, I couldn't really get it because I had so many other things like swimming around in my mind. And then I mean, just this past weekend, I mean, basically after Saturday is when things started to kind of calm down a little bit. And it was
Mhm.
literally like that day I thought of like this really cool idea that I could have gotten. I had already put the sign up. I already did something else. I wasn't
Oh,
100% satisfied with it because I'm like, this don't feel like, when you can feel when it's like, oh yeah, that's
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
And it
Yes.
just it wasn't quite there. But then it was like as soon as
Yeah.
my mind was like clear, I was like, wow, that would have been a crazy idea. And it brought me to that because he speaks about a point of like, um you have to kind of manage like your inside world versus your outside world. And so like um sometimes your internal can get to you a lot, and like different
Yeah.
anxieties and fears and whatever, like however your self-talk is can kind of mess with you and interfere with the world around you. So sometimes you have to quiet down your internal so that you can be out in nature. Like if
Yeah.
you're taking like a walk or something like that, and you just want to like take in this, no, more so like if you went on vacation and like
Yeah.
you're all in your head and you can't enjoy the vacation. But
Mhm.
then you can go the other way where you quiet your outside so that you can listen more to your inside. And that's like taking a walk where it's not so many people around, maybe you're just hearing nature, you're able to kind of listen to what's inside. Or whenever I'm sketching something, I have
Yeah.
to be it has to be in like complete silence. If I'm ever designing something,
Really?
has to be in complete silence. And then
Okay.
once I get a good idea, I can throw on the music, I can put a show on,
Yeah.
anything. Whenever I'm designing, it has to be quiet. Because I have to be able to
Yeah.
listen. And I wonder if
Okay.
that's the like it sounds like it's a similar situation for you as well.
Yes, and it's funny because I'm just thinking, like you saying that, but like thinking about me in art, like I do the same thing. So not necessarily because I don't be like sketching and painting that much unless it skates, but like when I'm doing like a flyer or something, or sometimes it reminds me, how people talk about like how you have to turn the music down, like if you don't know where you at, like or
Yep.
like to
Gotta see the
look,
address.
you have to, yeah, or if it's like bad traffic or whatever, you at a stoplight and people come in, sometimes you got to turn the music down so you can see. And I'm kind of like that when it comes to designing. I'll get to an area where I'm like, hold on, like let me turn this podcast off, or let me turn this TV down, let me get this. And then like once I get that, especially the more technical things, I would need more quiet for that. But then once I'm having fun and just editing and trying out different patterns and stuff, then I can turn the TV on. Then I can turn Netflix on or whatever. But yeah, I'm the same way.
Mhm. And you said one time I was watching some video that you were in, and you said one time that, like, once you hit the skate floor, it's like everything you're able to just, like, put it aside, you put it down right with your shoes, and you're
Yeah.
able to just hit the floor and just go. And I thought that was so cool to be able to, like, hit that just state of, like, flow, especially in skating, because 'cause I'm always in my head about stuff,
Uh,
especially whenever I'm skating, because I haven't really gotten to that point of comfort where, I can just move around without thinking about what I'm doing. And I'm
mm,
curious as to, for not just with skating, but just in general, how would you advise somebody to be able to leave their stuff, on the side while you're able to just do what you do for a sec? Because I
that is
think that's important.
a great question. Okay, so I'll kind of break it down a couple different ways. So the first one is like with skating, right? I always tell people, no matter what, let the music move you. Let
Mm,
them feel the music, enjoy the music. And one thing that I always say too is once you have fundamental things in order, then it's easier for you to feel the music because you could just say feel the music, but if you're uncomfortable on the skates and feel like you about to fall, no matter what, like you're going to be nervous, your heart's going to be pumping, and you not really. But once you're comfortable, you find comfort when you are prepared. So for me, my biggest thing is just to make sure that you're prepared. When it comes to skating, I always say don't try to do too much too quick. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll have some people who is their second time on skates and they're trying to like spin. And it's just like, no, like you don't even know how to skate backwards, so stuff like that. Just you have to make sure that you are comfortable because no matter what it is you do in life, you're gonna have to train, you're gonna have to prepare. When it comes to art or like photography, how would I put it when it comes to photography? Okay. I was just talking about this on another video today about learning how to shoot in manual mode, like not getting the camera and just turn it on auto and taking pictures. Learn your ISO, learn your aperture, learn your shutter speed, learn all of that, right? And once you have that, you'll be more confident. I used to hate doing weddings. I used to hate it only because I like the money because first of all, that's the most expensive package I got is a wedding. But people will pay for weddings. They pay money. So I
mhm.
like the money, but I was always so nervous because I wasn't confident in my gift and confident in my ability. With a wedding, one shot, it's like you get one shot. You can't tell them to redo the kiss because your exposure was too high and it's blown out, or your exposure was too low and you can't see them. You just gonna have to just hope
Own
you
it
can
up.
edit it in a way to where hope you can doctor it up or something like but if you are prepared and you know what it is that you know how to work your camera, know how to use your camera, you're going to be more comfortable flowing and doing weddings. So now I love weddings, not even just for the money, but just it's fun. It's just a good vibe. It's a good experience. So that's when it comes to photography. So yeah, when it comes to skating or when it comes to art, just make sure that you are prepared. And when you are prepared and take things slow, you don't always have to rush. You know what I'm saying? Like just take it day by day and then learn to have fun doing it. Because a lot of times we be on the skate floor and it's almost like we're training for the Olympics. It's like, why? Like we are here having fun. Like none of us are really we're just here rolling around. Like we're not in a competition. Just have fun. So when you can prepare and then once you're prepared, you could just have fun, then it'll become so much easier for you.
And that's so interesting too. Because you also said, like, you you fell in love with learning how to skate, and
Mhm.
then you fell in love with skating after a certain point.
Yes.
And, like, could you expand on that distinction a little bit?
Oh, for sure. So I tell my students this all the time. So most people, when they're skating, okay, so most people when they get their skates, they're wobbly. They're just like, okay. But then after maybe a couple sessions or whatever, they feeling it. Like they're like, okay, I got my stride down. I can go. I can do my thing, right?
Mhm.
And then they're like, okay, they learn how to go from the front to the back. So the transition from skating forward to skating backwards. Then they learn how to skate backwards. So all this stuff that I'm naming is somebody learning how to skate. You know what I'm saying? And it's a great journey, right? But when you're learning how to do it, you're not fully present. Like I mentioned, earlier about like just really gliding and just having a good time. Just because I've been skating for a long time and doing it, for a minute or what have you, I'll get on the floor and I'm really not thinking. I'm just gliding, I'm having fun, I'm doing whatever. And it is the best feeling ever, right? But it wasn't always that way because I had to start at the beginning and I had to gain my footing. It's like a child who's learning how to walk. They stand up and then they fall. Then once they learn how to stand up long enough, they'll take that first step and then they'll fall. Then eventually they may take 3 steps and fall. They're gonna be shaky and wobbly, but after a while they're gonna be running through your house, tearing up your house, right? So it's the same thing with us. No matter what it is you're doing, especially with something like skating, none of us was born with skates on our feet. None of us. Everybody had to learn how to skate at some point. You know what I mean? And I do find that most people who are really comfortable at doing it, it's just people who do it a lot. Like when I first started skating, I was literally skating 6, 7 days a week, all the time, outside, for the most part, like in parking lots or whatever, outside. So um, once I really like got my fundamentals together because I wasn't rushing it. I learned how to skate forward. I've been skating forward, but that's all I did growing up, skate forward. But then eventually I learned how to skate backwards. I'm like, oh shoot, I can skate backwards. Then I learned how to do this. Then I learned how to do that. Then eventually, I fell in love with being out on the floor, having a good time, meeting people, listening to the music. Whereas that wasn't my experience maybe like 2019 when I really started taking it serious. In 2019, I loved skating by myself. I was outside with my headphones on, skating, especially during lockdown, like 2020. I was skating everywhere, just having a good time alone by myself, and I loved it. And I thought, oh, it can't get no better than this. Well, I knew it could get better, but for me, it was like an amazing feeling. But then once I got better and more experience, that's when I could be like, okay, no, this is actually better. And I'm still learning. Don't get me wrong. I'm not one who know how to do everything. I am still learning, but I'm to the point to where I don't have to doubt myself and question myself because I did the work on the back end. Nobody can tell you about yourself if you know about yourself. So this is just a message for everybody. Like, be confident in who you are and what it is you do. So whether you're skating, whether you're painting, whether you're drawing, whatever, know that you're that guy, know that you're that girl, and just have fun no matter what people are saying. They may be looking at you crazy, they may be judging you. Just go and have fun, and then eventually you'll pick it up because a lot of people stop skating because they get discouraged because of other people. Other people may laugh at them, or they may not be, or you may not be good as the next person, so you feel discouraged. Forget all of that and just learn your fundamentals first. And then once you get that, you'll be good. You'll walk into the rink and you'll be like flying around, and then you'll have the best session of your life. But you have got to get your fundamentals in order for sure.
Mhm. Mm. What are the skating fundamentals?
The skating fundamentals, I would say starting out, you have to get your balance together. So when you're first starting out, you have to learn that skating is not like walking, it's a push. So you have to get your push. Once you get your push and you get your roll, then getting comfortable in that role, I would say then you can start to learn how to skate going forward. And then the transition is skating backwards. So, or at least turning backwards, even if you're not completely skating backwards. So that's skating, turning, and stopping, right? So that's one of the things. But then skating backwards, that's one of the things too, because when you learn how to pivot, that's going to require a lot of turning. You know what I'm saying? So I would say your fundamentals, your balance, Also, shifting your weight in your boots or the way that you're leaning has a lot to do with it. Um, your posture, oh my goodness, your posture has so much to do with it. Even like skating straight up. Like one tip I always heard is imagine somebody taking your hair, pulling it up. You go straight up. If somebody pull your hair, you like this. That's how you want to skate. You want to kind of be like a figure skater, making sure that your posture is together. You know what I'm saying? Another fundamental is also your gear and your equipment. So um, yeah, the fundamentals are just those little things that you can practice, and those little things become a big thing when you put them all together. Because you could take a little pivot and turn that into a spin. You know what I'm saying?
I've That's so interesting, the comment about the posture, because I've always, or I've learned that, like, you gotta keep your legs bent all the time. And it's something that, like, I was the type that I would always ask just people in the middle, like, how if
Yeah.
they could show me this, can you show me that? Can you like I was that person. And the more people that I learned from, the more sometimes people's teachings would like go against each other and would conflict. And so I'm like, I don't know
Yes.
what to do because
Yeah.
I learn from one guy, and then
Yeah.
I'm doing this, and then I go and then I ask some lady in the middle the next day, and she's like, "You got to stop doing that. You need to do this other thing." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, but then," and then I go and I do that, and then I come back, and the dude I learned from the first time, "What you doing that for?"
Why
I just
you ain't? Yes, exactly. It's one of the things where the more trainers you have, or the more, the more confusing it could get. Now, I'm not one who just say like just stick to one person, but it can
Mhm.
get confusing because I always say there's 2 million different ways to draw a square. I always say that. So everybody teaches different, but that doesn't mean it's wrong. Different is not always wrong. You know what I'm saying? Now, I would tell somebody if it's wrong, like, okay, don't do this. But I would never tell somebody not to do it just because it's a preference. I would just say, this is a way that I do it, or this is a way that I don't do it. I don't do it this way, but it's not wrong. So when it comes to stuff like that, I would say the best thing to do is to find somebody somebody who's a good patient teacher. Patience, number one. If you're patient, you know what you're doing, you're not too pushy, you know what I'm saying? And then if of course it's going to be somebody you like their skate style or how they move or how they look when they skate. I would say try to work more with that one person. If you need pointers on something and somebody's telling you it's wrong, sometimes you can know if it's wrong or like if they're just being like, I don't want to say what's the word that I'm looking for. Like sometimes people just want to be the authority or something. Like they just want to tell you that you're doing it wrong. They want to look like they're just the instructor of the year, right? So you got some people like, oh, that's wrong. Why are you doing it that way? No, like if it's not putting somebody in danger or it's not technically wrong, then I never say it's wrong. I just say it's different. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah, but when it comes to like you were saying, like bending and stuff like that, I always say, or we always say, you have to keep a slight bend in your knee. You never want to lock your knee up. You want to have a slight bend. Ooh, right there.
Mhm.
Like you don't want to lock it up. You want a slight bend. However, this upper half, you want that upper half to be out. You want your chest out. You want to be straight forward because if you lean too much forward, you're more likely to fall forward and the same thing backwards. You know what I mean? So um that's just a little tip because I know you mentioned that, but yeah, it's not
Mhm.
always wrong because it's different. So some people do like you do have some people, in the ring who trying to be instructor of the year, like, oh, that's wrong. It's like, no, it's not wrong. It's just different. Like
Mhm.
what?
So then who taught you to skate, or how did you get started skating?
Right. So the story goes, I always grew up skating. I don't even remember who taught me how to skate at first, honestly. Um, we grew up roller skating and ice skating. So ice skating more when we lived in upstate New York. And then once we moved to Atlanta, roller skating. You already know, Atlanta, we skate. So
Mhm.
I just always skated. Now in 2019 is when I started taking it for real, And I was like, I want to do more than skate forward. So all that time growing up, we used to go to like gospel nights. Even when they had gospel nights at Golden Glide, that's a long time ago when they had gospel nights at Golden Glide. But
Mm.
we used to skate a lot at Billy Bob's too. That used to be in Conyers. Showing my age again, but that's how I learned. Now, in 2019, I was like, I want to get back into skating. I was on Instagram and I saw one of my friends skate, and I was like, oh shit, and it was just skating like regular. It wasn't nothing crazy, but I was like, I haven't went skating in a long time, and I needed it. I wanted another activity to do and to learn. I love to learn, and so I just bought. Was it that night? It probably was a few nights later, but I bought a pair of skates on Amazon. Didn't even know what I was doing. Didn't know what I needed. Like, I know I needed outdoor wheels because I was like, I'm not about to go into the rink yet until I kind of get back comfortable. And so I bought some outdoor wheels, ended up had to buy some more because I only bought four. It was a pack of four. Didn't know that I could put the bearings from the indoor wheels on it. It was just like a lot, right? I didn't even know. So I just started skating on my own outside. Now, I did use YouTube a lot. Rock's World is amazing. He's one who I used to look at. I mean, still look at him on Instagram, but I learned a lot from him. Rock's World is like number one, but I used to just learn on my own, honestly, doing it that way. Now, a little bit later, when I started going to the rink, is when I started to learn more from other people. I didn't really have a mentor, nothing like that, just here and there when you meet people and they tell you how to do this. Like, you're like, how I do this, how I do that. So, yeah, then one of the things that really elevated me as a skater is when I joined the Cascade Dream Team when they first started. And that really skyrocketed me as a skater because it's like I'm on this team with all these great skaters, people I look up to, people I used to always watch on Instagram, and people I'm in the crew with them and really skating with them and practicing with them and learning from them. Sharp iron really does sharpen iron for real. And so that's when I really started like pushing myself a little bit more to try these tricks that I was scared to try so um I have a few. I would say, okay, so my inspirations were people who really, really helped me when I first started. So, Miss Rachel D. Um, I don't know if you know her, but she skates at Skate Zone on Sundays and mainly skates on Sundays. But when I first started coming to the ring, she helped me so much. I love that lady so much. The kindest lady ever. New Orleans is funny. I love New Orleans people. New Orleans is my favorite city, but she's one of the ones who really like helped me so much because she saw me skate and then she's the one who will see you skating and like, come here, let me show you this. She's one of those people, which I like because some people can be kind of like, I don't want to say gatekeepy, but yeah, they don't be wanting to reach out. She literally called me over. I wasn't talking to nobody or nothing. I just come to the rink and go home, and she showed me some things. Another one, my girl Mimi, I love her so much. Mimi, she don't skate as much now. She, had a daughter, and you know how that is life when you have kids and stuff like that. She don't skate a lot now, but she's another one who helped me so much, especially get started with New York and New Jersey style skating, which I love, but she's always been one of those ones I will always give flowers to. But those two ladies are like two of the biggest inspirations that I have
Mm.
when it comes to skating. I got
Mm.
other ones who I really like now. I got a whole lot, but those two really were instrumental when I first started.
Mm. And do you think that those people were I'm assuming that these were people that you connected with pretty early, but were
hmm
there other people that you connected with that were like kind of in your same on your same level, like they're learning too, they're coming up with you?
Hmm. Probably my brother. So he really got into it because I was loving it. And my mom too. The funny story is, and this is why I love skating, right? It really changed our lives. You hear people say that all the time, and it may sound like cliche, but literally it changed and helped and saved my life in so many ways. But when it comes to my brother, he was one who got inspired because I will always skate. and then they bought skates, him and my mom. And I remember it was 2020 during lockdown. We would skate with masks on, so we would, of course, all the rinks would close. So we would just go to the tennis court. My mom had a big old boom box. We put it out there, and we would just play music and skate. And
Mm,
one of that, those memories are so special to me right now. Like those are some of the most special memories to me. But anyway, once the rinks opened back up, we started skating back again or what have you. And then he's just been one of those ones who takes what I show him and runs with it, right? And then, but he developed his own style. I love the way he skate. He don't skate as much as me. I'm one of the ones who like I'm skating 6 days a week, 7 days a week, whatever. Now, not as much though, but he will probably skate. He skates Sundays, and then sometimes he does gospel nights on Mondays, and he skates Wednesdays and sometimes Thursdays. But so he's one who really like we skate together all the time or used to, but of course now since I moved. But him, oh, and my mom. Oh, and this is what I was going to say, how it changed or saved my life. I'm sorry, my thoughts just all over the place. So
you're all good.
they all have their own community, which I love. When they first started skating, I was introducing them or whatever to my people, what have you. Now, of course, my people became their people, but they got their own. My mom is a part of a skate crew. Like she has, um, on Monday night, they have like gospel skating at skate zone. So her and her friends, her home girls, they're older because my mom is, how old is she? She in her early 60s. Yeah, early 60s. So they're all older women, but they skate together. They got their own T-shirts, and they're good, and I'm glad I could introduce her to them and that whole side of it because she introduced me to skating because they would take us skating. So she, growing up, was the one who introduced me to skating. However, the older I got into like the skate world, I was able to introduce her to some of those people who I said she's in the skate crew with. So she's in the crew now, but I introduced her to like one of her best friends now, Miss Wendy. Love her so much. But and she's been skating, Miss Wendy been skating for a minute. She's really good. But I introduced them, and now they're the best of friends.
Yeah.
Tracy, she's like the best of friends with my mom. They hang out, they work together, like all that. Like they have their own community. They go out to eat together. They celebrate together. They pray together. They go to church together. They do business together. All because of skating. These are skate people, and I was able to, introduce them to my mom. And the same thing with my brother. He got his own friends and his own people. So, yeah, skating really is that thing that it's that thing. I'll just say that it's that
Yeah.
thing.
Brings people together for sure. Like,
It
man,
does, and you don't know who everybody is. Like I know we did talk about this previously, but you skating with somebody you do not know they have the potential to change your life. You slow walking with them, and you don't know that the person next to you knows the person who could give you that breakthrough or give you that chance or give you that opportunity, or not even just knows a person, is that person. It has
yep,
happened, you know what I mean? So it's
yep.
such a great community. There's so many different people. You skate in 1 minute with a doctor, and then you're in the next minute you skating with the exotic dancer. Then the next minute you skating with the entrepreneur, and then you over here talking to the preacher, and you don't even know that he's a preacher. It's just skating is one of those crazy things that bring us all together, and we probably wouldn't even have met otherwise, but we met on the skate floor, like skating around in the circle.
Yep. Yep. It's so
Wow.
real. I mean, that's how I
Mhm.
met G was skating. It was like
Oh, that's how y'all met for real.
because I was going to
Yes, that's my
to
girl. I love her.
yeah, like man, I was supposed to go to Golden Glide. I remember it was a day, I was painting that day and
Hmm.
it took, a long time, but I was going pretty consistently. I was skating and I was like, man, like I wanna make it to Golden Glide. I was really big into those like they had a Wednesday night session at the time. And so I get over
Okay.
there and they stopped doing the Wednesday nights and they started doing Tuesdays. So they were like, yeah, Golden
Hmm.
Glide's closed. And I'm like, dang, like I really wanted to skate today. I'm gonna go
Uh,
over to Stone Mountain. And so go over to Stone Mountain and then I was one of those people who who was like always asking people in the middle, like if they could show me something. And
Mhm.
I mean, she was that person in the middle that day, and she was doing some footwork that I still can't
Killing
do.
it,
And
killing
I
it.
was
She's
asking,
so good.
yeah,
Oh, she's amazing.
and I asked her like, "Hey, can you show me this?" And she showed me like the basics of it, and then like rolled away. And I remember like just towards the end of the session, I was like, let's see if I can, maybe I can meet up with her
Yeah.
again, whatever." And so
Wow.
I asked her. I think I asked her for her Instagram that day, and then
Mhm.
she was like, "Yeah, I go so many days," and then we just started like meeting up at the rinks and just kept talking from there.
Oh, that is
Yep.
amazing. I love to hear stories like that. That made my heart proud because I didn't know. I mean, I didn't know that's how y'all met because y'all both are so creative and so artistic. So I'm like, maybe they met somewhere, at a art show or a museum or a festival. Y'all met skating.
Yep.
What
Yep.
year was this?
Oh, this was 2022. I think
Okay.
Like July, August. Like,
Hmm.
yeah. Yeah. It
And
was
I remember the first time
mhm.
I met her too. But the funny thing is how everything comes back together. So the guy who I was talking about did the fire and ice skates, the idea
Mhm.
you had, he's the one who actually introduced me to Gia. His name is
Oh.
Ramon. He's
Oh, okay,
a
yeah.
skate. You know what I'm
No.
talking about?
That's
Yes.
the stunt man. Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's him. And so he's the one who introduced me because I remember they was skating or whatever, and she was killing it. And yeah, he introduced me to her. That's so funny.
Mm.
I love
And
that.
And it's like something that's really nice about that because it only makes me more curious about people
Hmm.
because
Yeah.
whenever you turn this rock over and you're like, "Oh my god, this is amazing." And then you just look at like this field of rock and you're like whenever I get at skate parties and stuff and I just see like hundreds of people in this area and you're like, "Bruh, there's got to be like gems of human beings in here. Like there's
Yeah.
everybody's got a story. Everybody's got a reason they came through.
Sorry.
Everybody, you don't know
Yeah.
what kind of situation that brought them to this moment right now. And it's just something like you sit and look at the whole thing. You're like, dang, like you almost like I don't have words for it.
Yeah, yeah, and that's why I'm so protective over it too. Like when people are rude or people laughing at people who can't skate or this, I'm an advocate when it comes to people because like you said, like you met Gia there, you know, but imagine if you went to the rink and you got discouraged because somebody was like laughing or like looking at you crazy or whatever, and you end up leaving, you probably never would have crossed. Probably never would have. I mean, I do believe in like when it's meant to be, y'all find each other. So maybe y'all would have felt each other, but because this is people's sanctuary, I'm protective of it. There's been times when I cried my eyeballs out on the way to the rink and on the way from the ring. But you'll see me in the ring talking to everybody, smiling and laughing, and you will have no clue. And it's not just me putting on, it's literally skating is one of those things that help me feel so much better. And when I'm on the floor, I'm not thinking about any of the issues I have, any of the problems I'm having. I'm just there. It's ministry. It's literally like church to me. Like it's a spiritual experience, especially if you're playing some house music. Like I'm getting my life
Mhm.
all day. But yeah, so it's like we have to protect spaces like these, safe spaces where you have people who learning and growing. Because think about it, just like, and it's not, I'm not one of them people who say skaters are weird, skaters are this. No, some of the most amazing people in my life, some of the best people I ever met in my life are skaters. I love skaters, but just like your job, just like your church, just like your school, you're gonna have some weird people because guess what? It's open to the public. So when the weirdos come, it's up to us to shut it down. Even the perverts who always like, they trying to teach women how to skate just so they can touch on their hips and just so they can like stuff like that. I'm always calling it out because I'm like, skating can change somebody's life, and I don't want them to leave this building and not come back and get the breakthrough that they need, all because somebody's being a weirdo.
Mhm.
And then not only that, some people are literally on their last leg, like probably about to end their own life. They could come to the skating rink and feel so uplifted. inspired just by learning a move or just by slow walking with somebody or just by getting a nice kind hug. You know what I mean? So I am very protective over those spaces for sure. Oh, any skating rink, I don't care what skating rink it is. I'm like, not on my watch, for real.
Absolutely. Can you Can you go a little further into skate etiquette? Because I know that like I'll see like stories that you'll put out sometimes of like, okay, whenever you hear, make sure that you do it this way. And
Yeah.
as somebody who, you know, I mean, I have G with me a lot of the time, 90% of the time. So she's able to kind of show me some stuff. And then like even through knowing you and your brother and like just other people that are there I've made friends with. I mean, I'm piecing together etiquette slowly, but there's sometimes I feel like maybe I'm missing something or like there's a connection there that I don't fully understand yet.
Hmm. As far as the etiquette part, like I feel like they have okay, we have the basic etiquette, such as like fast skaters on the outside, slower skaters on the inside. The middle, of course, is for whoever, but a lot of times if you're at a family session, the inside is for the kids with the skate mates or whatever. So when it comes to etiquette, my biggest thing is just like the etiquette for skating is the etiquette that you learn in preschool and kindergarten. A lot of times, if you bump into somebody, say excuse me. And this is my thing. There's different styles, and some of them they be zooming. Even up here, New York, New Jersey, they zoom like they zoom around you like you a cone, like a little practice cone. Same thing in Chicago. They do the same thing. So and I get it because that's a part of the style. And I also get, I'm not gonna lie, I get in some instances where you're going so fast you probably can't say excuse me. You know what I'm saying? But you can wave. So
Mhm.
I'm just like, there's basic etiquette, like as far as like saying excuse me, I'm sorry, like all of that you learn in school, it goes for on the skate floor. You know what I mean? But I just always make sure I go the extra mile too. So if somebody fall, I try to help them up. Or if I see somebody doing a move a wrong way, I would try to help them because, and not because I'm trying to be extra, but it's because if you do a move the wrong way, you may hurt yourself. Like I
Mhm.
sprained my ankle 2 different times skating and been out for a little more than a month. So I completely understand it. But that's me going the extra mile. So the basic things are your stay on the outside if you're going fast, stay on the inside if you're going slow, say excuse me, say I'm sorry, or wave or something like that if you bump into somebody. But just go the extra mile. If you see something on the floor, like a lot of times I try to pick it up, depending on what it is. Because if it's a piece of tissue, I'm like, I don't know where that came from, so I don't know if I'm about to. But little stuff like that, or even like a little change, a little candy. I'm always like, okay, I may have avoided this spill or this candy or whatever, but I'm going to pick it up or tell somebody, or somebody who works there that they need to clean it so that somebody else won't get hurt. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about, think about skating is about us coming together. We can't be selfish when we come together when it comes to community. When it comes to community, I heard somebody say, "Ooh, like you said, you was gonna mess up the quote. I might mess up this quote, but they were saying the price of community is discomfort sometimes because sometimes
Mm.
we're all so used to being for ourselves and like, oh, I need to consider how I feel, whatever. But when you have community, sometimes you're gonna be a little uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you're gonna have to stop skating for a quick minute so that you can go, even if it's your song, so you can go and find somebody to clean up the spill because you don't want nobody to fall and get hurt. Or you may have to pick this up, or you may have to pick that up because you don't want nobody to get hurt. Because a lot of times we'll avoid an accident like, oh, shoot, I don't skate it around this candy, but okay, I'm good. No, because somebody else may come and fall and hurt themselves. God forbid it's somebody like your mom, your sister, you know what I mean? So I would just say, like, go the extra mile in the rink because it really is a community and we do better together. You know what I'm saying? I'll be acting like I work that you would think I work at some of these rinks sometimes. Like, even if it's the DJ, I help them at the end of the night. Like, first of all, I always say thank you, always to the DJ, even if I feel like they suck. Thank you because you are the life of the party. There's no party without the DJ. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we are here to have a good time, and you are providing the soundtrack. So I always say thank you. I help them sometimes pick up their stuff, their speakers, and their, whatever they let me handle or, carry, because I know people are sensitive about their equipment and I get it. So I help them take their stuff to the car. Yeah, like I'm just an advocate. So I would just say like be be a community person, or just go the extra mile. Um but as far as like etiquette, is that what you're asking as far as like skate etiquette?
That and, like, there's times, I think a big interest of mine currently is, like, the New York, New Jersey figure eight style,
Ooh,
partner skating, and that's
yeah.
its own beast. That's its
Oof,
own, like,
child.
thing, and there's certain things
Yeah.
where I'm just like, I mean, whether it's just like, a lot of people kinda come in there and I mean, they're able to just kinda skate around and they can swap partners and they all stay on beat,
Okay.
and, like, it
Yeah.
seems like everybody knows something. They all know, like, "Hey,
Okay.
it's this,
Yeah.
it's that," or, like, "Don't do this thing," or, like, if I'll do something and
Got
I'll catch a bunch of weird looks, and I'm like, "Wait, what just happened? What did I do?" And I'm in there just
Uh-huh.
trying to, like, I'm trying to learn, I'm not trying to,
Yeah.
like, take up
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be, overstepping, but I'm like, I wanna be a part of this, and they're welcoming, but they're also like,
Like, hold on.
yeah,
Yeah,
like, how do you do this
that's
correctly?
real. That's real. So every style has, their own etiquette and different things. So like New York, New Jersey, I'll say like that's the base of how I skate, just because I do like a lot of pivots and stuff like that. Um, but that's the base. But I'm never one who like, okay, this is my style of skating, because when I first started skating, I was doing JB. I was learning JB from people. Um, My favorite style is West Coast. People don't know that, but that's my
Hmm.
favorite style ever, hands down, no doubt about it. I love jam skating too. I don't do it, but I love watching it. So I don't really have a certain style that I do. I call myself a gumbo skater because I just mix anything together and do whatever the music tells me to do. So that's how I do it. But when it comes to like New York, New Jersey, there are certain things, like I have a friend who was showing me some stuff like when they skate together, and like they like you hold hands, right? And then he kind of like tugged my hand, and every time he tugged my hand, he did like a pivot, right? So it's a particular pivot he did, and I was like, is that what y'all do? And he was like, yeah. So I was like, oh shoot. Like, so there's little things that you learn and pick up along the way depending on the style, that you can kind of, when it comes to etiquette. Now that New York, New Jersey circle, I don't be in that. It'd be too many people, and it'd be too close, and it'd be too small, and I'm claustrophobic. No, look, it'd be too. I just don't. I like to have big open space. I don't like to be in a small confined space, so I rarely do that. But I feel like if somebody is looking at you kind of like sideways or something, it could be because almost like a safety thing. It could be. I don't know, because anytime I see you skate, you doing your thing. So I don't know. It could be a safety thing, because it's like if you're in a small space and you're skating and you fall, it could be a pile up. You know what I'm saying? Now,
Mhm.
New York, New Jersey skaters are pretty skilled for the most part, so they normally maneuver or what have you. But it could get real ugly. So if they like, hold on, it's probably because they like, okay, I don't want you to fall right in front of me or what have you. But it's one of the things that you'll learn over time, like with the right person. It goes back to mentorship.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been working a lot with Johnny Hill, and, like, his stuff
Okay.
is, like, he's amazing at it, and he does, like, I don't know, he's kinda like the gumbo skater too, where, like, he doesn't
Yeah.
identify himself with a specific, style, but, you'll see him do moves from all different types of stuff, and then
Really? Is he the one who wear rental skates sometimes?
sometimes
Like
he
his
always
own
wears, like,
pair?
a let go, just flow hoodie,
I'll
and,
have to I'll have to look back, because I just did see somebody killing this skate, and I don't know. Is his name, does his Instagram name have a six in it somewhere, or you
yeah,
don't know from the top of your
J6
head?
Hill.
Okay, yes, I know who you're talking about. He's cold. He's
Yeah,
cold.
yeah, he's
Yeah, yeah.
ridiculous,
He's
and,
dope.
like,
He's dope.
the thing that got me was, like, he did a roundhouse kick on skates one time, just
Oh,
to play around, and I was like, I didn't even know that. I guess that's technically possible, but like I'd have never thought. I've never seen anybody do that before or since. And it's like, what in the world? Like, and it's because he
Right.
also does taekwondo, and so like
Oh,
a lot of those moves can kind of like transfer into
yeah,
to skating.
incorporating it.
But
That's dope.
I think that's like that's so cool that you're able to kind of mix those different styles together. Because I did martial arts growing up too, and
Okay,
so
come on,
it's
man.
like I'm able to, I don't know. He was telling me something about like being able to use the same kind of muscle memory from other
Mm.
skills
Mm-hmm.
into like your skating. And I remember when he was like, "Yeah, just use your muscle memory from your martial arts in your
Yeah,
skating and see
that's
how it
crazy.
happens." And
I love it.
that instantly got like my stops better. Like whenever I'm going and I have to
Mm.
like stop real quick or I can
Right.
pivot because it's like it feels almost like I'm sparring. Like I know exactly how to
Mm.
move my feet if I'm
Oh,
doing
yeah.
that. Not necessarily like the skating, but it's like, oh, if I just go back to this mindset, this still works, interestingly
Hmm.
enough, you know?
Absolutely. That's why I
Mm,
find like some of the best skaters be like dancers. Not all of them, but like some of the ones who learn quick and really like catch it like that and do crazy stuff, and then be like, I've been skating for 6 months. It's like, what? It'd be like the
yeah.
people dancing because they know how to use their body. Like somebody like me, I didn't grow up dancing. I got rhythm, but I don't dance. And so a lot of this stuff I'm learning. Like I'm learning how to move my body to the music. I was never a dancer or nothing like that. So I find like a lot of people who really, really are killing it, they've been knowing how to move their body. They've been knowing how to shift weight. Because that's really important when it comes to skating, shifting your weight in your boots and how how you lean in may affect how you skate or how you all of that. You know what I mean? Like it
So
definitely is one of those things where you can, take what it is you do in life and put it into the skate floor. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely. And you said that you didn't grow up knowing how to move to the music, and it sounds so cliche and so like, yeah, of course, like just let the music move you. But for somebody like me, I'm so literal. I'm like, what do you mean by that? You know, like I'm trying to figure out how does one let the music move them, you know?
You gotta let go. I would say that's one thing. And I'm not saying it to you like you gotta let go. I'm just saying
Mhm.
generally like you gotta let go and not feel, and it's gonna sound crazy. I know people are like, what? But don't feel afraid to look crazy or crazy or stupid. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're not used to something, you're self-conscious when you're doing it if you're not used to it. Sometimes
Mhm.
you just gotta kind of let that go and just understand that you may not look the best now, but eventually you will. But if you're just so conscious of the way that you're looking to where you're not engaging your full body, you are hindering yourself from getting better. And you will improve eventually, but it's just gonna take a little longer. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you may look crazy. I look at some of my old skate footage and skate videos. I'm like, oh, it's cringy. I hate looking at old videos. I hate when I say hate. Oh, I hate looking at old
Mhm.
videos when I first started skating, or even maybe 3 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Especially because you learn new stuff, get more stuff in your bag. You're like, dang, I should have did this. I should have did that. It's a part of
Mhm.
the process. But if you're so concerned about the way you looking, it's like no. Sometimes you gotta fail. And I'm sure, like even like with illustrations and stuff like that, with you, like if you look at something that you drew when you were 10 years old, it ain't gonna
Oh
have
yeah.
nothing on what you do now. You know what I'm
Mm-mm.
saying? But guess what? If you was always like, well, my drawing ain't the best, so I'm really not gonna experiment with it or try to do new stuff. I'm just gonna stay in my box. You can learn how to draw some stuff, but you won't be the artist that you are called to be. You know, um, you won't progress if you are scared to look stupid. And so that's what I say, like, feel the music. It's kind of like, think about it. If you are on your skates and you're just stepping side to side, so I know you can't see it, but my feet is doing this. Imagine, oh, where the camera? Oh, right here. This is my feet. If I'm just stepping like 1, 2, 1, 2. This is simple. Anybody can step on skate. Well, not anybody, but most people
Mhm.
who beginner or intermediate can step. That's your feet. That's what your feet is doing. Skating is a full body engagement, a full body workout. Your upper half, you could just be stepping and you could just move your body like this, right? And you
Mhm.
jamming, you doing your thing, right? But if you're just stepping and then you're like this is how it's gonna look. That don't look good. But if you hear the music and you just like you're not doing nothing but moving your hands, you moving your head, you sing it to the music, you that looks better. You know what I'm saying? Even though
Mhm.
you're just pitter pattering your feet, you're having a good time. And guess what? The pitter patter will end up turning into something else. I always say the best skate sessions I always have is by myself, alone. Because you'll end up just 1, 2, and then you like damn, you end up doing a spin. Like, wait, I didn't know I can do that. That's
Mhm.
skating all day long. So yeah, I would just say don't be fit. Just move how it is you would naturally move to music. Do what you can do with your feet, and then take risk here and there. Safe risk though.
Mm. Man, I was just talking to G about this before when, um, like, she basically told me the same thing where it's like, you need to start skating, um, by yourself here and there. Like, she's like
Mhm.
she says, I'm a fast learner and that that I have skill, but I haven't baked it in yet. I
Cool.
haven't like it needs time to bake. It needs time to cook, and that is like
Yeah,
you need time without all these external influences. Like it's like if you come behind and you try to poke into the cornbread every 15 seconds, see if it's done.
yeah.
It's like, yo,
Hey,
let it
holidays
cook.
right.
Yeah, and so you
You don't
gotta
have a
just let
meal
it
without
be.
cornbread. Yeah,
Yep, yep, yep.
yeah.
And so
It,
I thought that
that is
was
real.
like
I
pretty
like
cool.
that. I
Yeah.
like that. That's a good analogy too. Like, um, when you are in the rink, and I know you know it, it's so much going on. You have the music is loud, first of all, but then you have people who's skating around. So you have people, first of all, who's watching you, who's like just sitting down, not skating, watching you. That's one thing. Then you
Mhm.
have people who you're avoiding or trying to duck and dodge and not run into somebody. That's a whole nother thing. Um, and then you have other little distractions, whether it's little kids on the skate mates or somebody who fell or making sure there's nothing on the floor. All these different things I'm naming are things that can be distractions. So it's important to, skate around distractions when you get to a certain point so that you can, know how to operate and move, especially with situations like skate parties and such. But initially, like I would say the most important thing that you could do is skate by yourself because you eliminate so many distractions. You know, with a DJ, you can skate to what they play. But when you by yourself, you can play your own music. So not only are you playing your own music, you don't have to worry about nobody running into you or you running into nobody. You got other stuff you may worry about, like hopefully you don't kick a hole in the wall like I did, or
A hole
little
in the
stuff like
wall?
that.
How you kick a hole in
And
the
then,
wall?
yeah, did I get my security deposit back? I was skating and my foot, I don't even know how it did this. So you know where the baseboard at? My foot slipped and kicked the hole right into the wall. And it wasn't like a big, big hole, but it was big enough. It probably was, what's the inch? Maybe 3, 4 inches. So
Dang.
with that situation, yeah, I was like, "Ooh," but I patched it up. I
Mhm.
did patch it up. I didn't know what I was doing, but I patched that thing up.
No, I mean that's real though. Like the people who are really good at anything, like they've got them all. They got all those instances, and it's so
Mhm.
funny. People will see you skate today. People will see you skate tomorrow, and be like,
Mhm.
"Oh, this guy never falls. He never messes up. He's always been this and this." And it's like,
You're
no,
like, "Ooh,
you didn't
yeah."
see it. You didn't see it. That's what happened.
That is me all day long. They're like, "You don't never fall." I'm like, "Who? Calvin? Calvin don't never fall." Calvin falls. The thing is, I get up quick. So I ain't about to let people lay there. Sometimes they be embarrassed or they start doing push-ups and stuff. They make it obvious. I'm like, no, if I fall, I get right up. Like I'm going to
Mhm.
get up fast, but I don't fall as much as I used to. Of course, the more you progress, the better you get, the less you fall. However, I am one of those people who I'm very cautious because, you're getting up there in age, so I'm very cautious. So I break everything down. And I'm a skate instructor. So I'm one of the ones who break every single thing down. If I'm trying to do a new spin, I start I wish I could demonstrate it, but I'll break it down and be like, okay, I do my feet like this. Okay, then I do this, then I do that. It may be 2, 3 skate sessions before I get to the actual spin. It's because I break everything down small. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, that's how I operate. Like, I do everything really. I say I teach for a fifth grader. That's how I teach my students, to where a fifth grader can learn what's going on, right? But I also teach myself as if I'm a fifth grader. I break it down. I will screen record a video. I will slow it down. I will look at the different angles. Yeah, but I'm patient with myself. That's the biggest thing. I'm very patient with myself.
Mm. And so, okay, so you got back skating, you said around 2019. You started
Hmm.
taking it seriously. You're like, "Hey, I want to do this." Um, and then you started getting some success with it. I mean, you even made it on to the Cascade Dream Team. I've seen you in music videos.
Hmm.
And like, when did you find that these things started popping off? Or man, there's like a couple of questions, and
Yeah.
there's like a couple of questions I have. So for one, there is um when did it start to kind of click for you in terms of like, it's not that you feel like you've learned everything, but you get to a
Hmm.
certain point where you're like, oh, okay, like I'm not just a beginner anymore, or I'm
Yeah.
competent. I can, I'm competent enough to do, this job, or I'm hireable as a skater. Then,
Hmm.
um, what were some of your first, business opportunities like as a skater, and I'm curious, like if there's any, um, I mean, I think they're all important and they're all noteworthy, but any of your
Yeah.
favorite business opportunities as a professional skater?
Oh, that's a really good one. Those are great questions. So, okay, the first one is when I started, okay, when I realized um that I was doing my thing, that I know how to do a little something. Honestly, it was I've been confident in my skating even before the Cascade Dream Team, right? But before joining the team, I've never worked as a professional skater. I never got paid to skate. I would just skate at the rink, like like most people. But the a long story really short is I had two friends who were auditioning for the Cascade Dream Team, and I wasn't going to audition. And I ain't gonna lie, I was like, I'm too old. Everybody else is just in their early 20s and this and that. And I'm like, I don't. And I wasn't interested. I don't like auditioning for stuff, no matter what it is. I'm like, no, I don't want to do it. But I'll support y'all. So I used to do stuff for Metro Fun Center and stuff like photography and all that other stuff. So and then one of the so the owner, Mr. Greg, who owns Cascade, he owned Metro Fun Center too. So his right hand, like his assistant, was my client for years, Nyasha, my photography client. So even before I started skating, period, she been at Cascade running things, right? And so I knew her, I knew some of the staff, all that. So I just came to support my two friends who were auditioning. That's how I wasn't even, I remember I had on this polo, I had on shorts, I was not there to skate. So when I came in, they're like, they was like, where are your skates at? And I'm like, I just came to support them. They were like, do you have your skates with you? At the time, I always kept my skates in my car, always. I don't even know if I had one sweat towel. As you can see, I would always wipe my sweat. So anyway, I just auditioned. Long story short, it was two different auditions and I ended up getting it, right? So when I got into the team, I really felt accomplished. That's when I really felt like, oh, I can do something with this. You know what I'm saying? Because who would have thought like somebody who skate like I do can skate on a team alongside some of these monsters. Like you got Lazy, that's my girl. She's one of my favorite ever. You got like her, you got like Solo, you got these crazy skaters, you know what I'm saying, who do these amazing things. It's like, yo, I'm on the team with them. Quite cool, right? You know what I'm saying? It is so of course, more opportunities presented itself the longer I was a part of the team. And so, I did get to do, some videos and some other things. And yeah, that's when I first started getting any type of money professionally. It's just doing that. Like this, it was never like a goal of mine. It's just something that kind of honestly fell into my lap. One of the most notable things that I did, there's so many dope things that I've done. There's so many dope things. Okay, I'll talk about real quick two different projects, and I hope I'm not leaving anything out because I'm really trying to think. So one of them, of course, is the Usher and City Girls, the Good Love video, because of course I grew up listening to Usher, um, watching him on Moesha. Moesha, it is funny because the background and what I got on literally reminds me of Moesha, but Moesha is one of my favorite shows. So I used to watch him growing up. So, even to be on set, it was just a whole that wasn't my first music. Was it my first music video? I don't know, but it was a lot because it was like we was on set for like 16 hours, and I'm not
Yeesh.
exaggerating. 16 hours on set. It was a lot. It was a lot, but it was a great experience, and it was a learning experience, right? So that's one of the ones that's special. And two, because I literally had people texting me, like people who didn't know I was going to be in a video. They just, I mean, because it's a music video with Usher and the City Girls, they're huge. And so people will literally be at home watching TV and like, oh my God, I just saw you on a video. What in the world? So, that's always cool. And then what was the other one? It was okay. So this one it wasn't a big thing as far as like, okay, I'll put it this way.
Mhm.
When I was a part of the team, we did several things. Sometimes we did videos. I mean, I did a magazine. It's a lot we did, right? But one of the things that we would do sometimes when different events were happening, they would sometimes want skaters to be at the rink, different events at the rink at Cascade. So they would want maybe like 4 or 5 skaters, whatever, like to skate around, help people out, just skate. You know what I'm saying? And like represent. And so we were called to do um, an event, and we didn't know what it was. It was just like, okay, come and skate. And it ended up being another music video for a gospel artist who I've been following for a long time. Her name is Lena Bird Miles. I love her.
Mm.
She's signed to My House. That's okay, Mary, they're really popular.
Mhm.
Erica Campbell's husband, he's the one who's over that whole thing. So like getting to be there, I got to meet her. I got to tell her I love her. I grew up listening to their music. Literally their first album is like one of my favorite albums ever. So I got to talk to her. I got to see so many people in the gospel community. I'm a PK, so I grew up under the church. So whereas like I was the only, it probably was like 7 of us who were booked on that. I was the only one who knew who Lena Bird Miles is because I've been knew like she's the best vocalist ever. But anyway, like just to go there and experience all that, meet all these people who you only like looked at or you admired for so long was amazing. But the thing, it ended up being her music video. So we thought it was just an event that we're skating at or whatever. We ended up being in her whole music video, skating with her and doing all this wonderful stuff. So that was really memorable to me because with a lot of people, it's only about like a name. So, like, if I say Usher, everybody who's gonna know who he is, or you say all these people names, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's amazing. But if you say Lena Bird Miles, even though she's amazing, a lot of people may not know her unless you're like in the gospel world. And so for me, the gospel world is one of those worlds that I'm in, just like I'm in the art world and skate world. I'm in the gospel world too. I sung with different artists and stuff. So me being there and meeting all these people and seeing all these people and getting to be in her video after just admire her from afar for so long, that was really special for me. So those two really stand out. There's some other things that stand out a lot, that stand out. And then one thing that I will say too is I kind of found my own power too, because I was kind of, a lot of engagements that I were getting, gigs I were getting, was because I was in the dream team, which is amazing. That's why, I'm a part of it. Like, I want different opportunities. But then once I decided to leave the team and, it was just my time, it was time for me to go. So I left. And I'm thinking like, okay, whatever. Like this was just fun for what it was. Like I wasn't even trying to get bookings, and I'm like, I don't even know about getting any more bookings ever, but it was just good while it lasted. And I ended up getting other bookings, from different people or different friends, like even one music fest, like I was able to get opportunities because of the seeds that I planted. So just because I thought one door was going to be closed, look, when I left, so many opened, and then I got the opportunity to host skate nights. I got the opportunity to be the skate instructor at Stone Mountain Skates, all because of the seeds that I planted. You know what I'm saying? So that's a little quick little rundown. Like it's honestly a long story. It's actually a crazy story too, but one day maybe I'll tell it. I don't know.
I really enjoy your sentiment on like getting what you got because of the seeds that are planted, because a lot of people can see on paper like, oh, Calvin got on the Cascade Dream Team, and then he started getting all these opportunities, and then he just blew up and did his thing. And so a lot of people will be like, oh, that's his thing. That's how he got that. Is because of the Dream
Uh,
Team, right? But then
mhm.
they don't realize that like you also have to be you have to be a skilled skater. You have to be a good person in these places, because you can have somebody on the
Absolutely.
team that sucks, or you can have somebody on the team that is annoying or is frustrating or is
Mm-hmm.
weird, and then they're not
Yeah,
going to get anything even if they're on the dream team because of the type
that's
of person
real.
they are. They're not leaving any seeds that people want to
Uh
grow.
oh. Yeah,
And
that's
and
true.
and you need that. Like there's times where, I mean, in my community, a lot of people know me, and I'm connected with a lot of different companies and spaces, and like there's opportunities all the time for people who want to be creative. And so I'm
Yeah.
like, here I'm sending this over, sending that over, sending that over. But then
Hmm.
these people have to also get there, and you have to show them who you are as well. You have to be able to connect with these people. You have to have a good product and a good content, a good
Right.
mission that people want to
That's
connect with, or else it's just going to be like the one and done. You're going to have that one live
there you
painting gig, and then you're going to go home, versus like
go.
get to know the person, or like really do your best in this moment and wow them, and then they'll be like, dang, we got to have him come do some more stuff, or
Yep.
like,
Go. You hit the
it
nail on the head.
you have to
Hmm.
be your best self too.
And you gotta see people too. I'm one, if I see you, I'm like, hey, how you doing? I ask you how
Yeah.
you're doing. I speak to people. Even on sets or whatever, I'm always helping out. I'm always giving. Even on the dream team, I was one of the captains. I can't skate that good, but guess what? I ain't gonna say I can't skate that good. Most people skated better than me. I'll say that. Most. You know what I'm saying? I was one of the ones who needed the most work. One of the ones who needed the most work. So, but I ended up being one of the captains. And it's not because of my skating, it's because of my ability to get things done. I was doing like the costuming, I was doing some of the outfits. I was literally dyeing outfits, bleaching outfits, pressing t-shirts. Them t-shirts that we were wearing and stuff, I was pressing them like we was doing. So I was doing a lot of that. I did the photography for the Dream Team for our Instagram. When we first got our Instagram, whatever. I did the photography, and I'm not making it like it's a one man show because we all, pitched in where we could pitch in. But even
Mhm.
we did content videos. I was putting together the mood boards. I was putting together the looks. I was putting together the outfits. When we go to skate parties, whether we go to Memphis or whether we go to RITC, excuse me, RITC, I was putting together the looks. You know what I'm saying? So I used a lot of different things that I learned in my life, including, like I was talking about, the art and painting and all that other stuff. All of that, I was using all of that in the Dream Team. And so when it was time and they were calling out different captains or whatever, it was like, because we had more than one captain, it was like, how many was it? Three or four? You had solo. You already know I dance solo. Crazy, right? One
Mhm.
of the best skates ever. So of course, right? Lay, crazy, one of the best skates ever, right? Skaters, right? No IG, Rashawn, that's what I call him. No IG, but his name is Rashawn. He skates New York, New Jersey. I don't know if he still teaches at Skate Town, but he was another one who was one of the captains. crazy skater, like one of my favorites. So you have three monster of skaters, like for real. And then you got me, not to downplay me, but when it comes to skill, most of the people who wasn't captains could outskate me, just to be real. But nobody could outwork me. It's no offense
Mm,
to them. I'm not saying like nobody as far as a team. I'm saying period. Like when it comes to like, I am a hard worker. I get that from my dad. So you can outskate me, but you probably can't outwork me. And because I use all the gifts, all the skills that I learned over the years in that position, I was able to take it and run and soar. And so I was able, to get a lot of benefits that people couldn't get, in the team because, I was assistant Camille, she's was the director. You know what I'm saying? So we had Camille, she was the director, Miss Camille. And then we had Mr. Eric, he was the manager. You know what I mean? And so I was basically like Camille's assistant in a sense because we would be working like even after practice, we out in the car, everybody already, they probably at home and in the bed. We like strategizing and we on the phone and we coming up with ideas and themes and looks and stuff like we was doing our thing, you know what I'm saying? But it goes back to the opportunities came because the seeds I planted to. Ravi, who is the owner at Stone Mountain Skates, currently still the owner, but he saw what I was doing with the dream team. He saw what I was doing on my own, and he approached me to be the skate instructor at the rink. I didn't have to go and ask, you know what I mean? So when you are doing right by people, I promise you, God would do right by you. You know what I'm saying? And you'll get the opportunities that's for you, but you got to keep working. So when I left one situation, I jumped into another situation like that. And guess what? I've been good ever since. So yeah, we sowing good seeds and good. We
mhm,
planting real good over here. Because I want a bountiful harvest. Like you can't expect a bountiful harvest if you're just gonna sow one seed. Like, oh, I did a good deed for the day. No, this is a lifestyle. It's not about doing
mhm,
a good deed for the day. You need to be a good person. We got enough good skaters. We don't have enough good people.
mm. Yeah, that's key right there. Like, cause I mean, I think being a good person will help you be a better skater, just through the connections you
Oh,
can make.
here you go. Yep,
Like,
that's true.
man, man, people putting the cart in front of the horse sometimes.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm.
And trust me, like the gift will it would get people attention. Like when you skate and you're killing it, it'll get people's attention. But I can promise you, you'll lose it like that. If when people find out that you're a horrible person, you don't have character, you don't have integrity, they're like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And on to the
Mhm,
next. You know what I'm saying? But if you're just genuinely a good person, I always say I would take even when I do like my content videos, I would take somebody who's just a okay skater, who just like a beginner skater who has an amazing personality, on time, great work ethic. I would take them all day over the best skater in the world who's just like a cocky, arrogant person who just can't get along with anybody. I don't want you on my set. I don't want to be around you in life, let alone for a project. You know what I'm saying? So I'm all about being a good person. I don't care. We all know people. We all, if you skate, you know somebody personally who could skate their butt off. That doesn't impress me really now, especially if you're a nasty person or a negative person. So I'm all
mhm,
about just like being a good person and being kind because I was talking about that safe space. You know what I'm saying? Like we have got to be a safe space for one another and provide those safe spaces. And when you see somebody kind of like intruding, I guess is the word, you got to stop it right there and be like, hold on,
mhm.
you ain't gonna do that. This is for us. This community
Definitely,
is for us, so we have to protect it.
definitely gotta stiff arm all that stuff. And when you were working with, whenever you're meeting these artists for these music videos, I mean, you drop
Yeah,
some big names. And I mean, these are people who you grew up listening to their music, and these are people who like you took inspiration from in one way or another. And I'm curious to know what were your impressions of these people? If one, how close you got to be able to interact with them? Because sometimes you don't really get to interact with them. If you did get to
Yeah.
interact with them, what were your impressions of these people?
Well, you know what? Pretty cool. So like, okay, so at the Good Love music video, I didn't get to say anything to the City Girls, but it was funny. It was one part because we did several scenes. One scene was we didn't have skates on. We was just outside. It was like a cookout outside the Cascade or whatever.
Hmm.
And then I was like standing in Usher's mark. And then like he was kind of like joking with me, like, you gonna take my job or something like that, or like you gonna do it for me, like, we was laughing about it or whatever. So I got to talk to him there, but I actually got to talk to him and help him with his skates at another set. So this was just us at Golden Glide. Like I was at Golden Glide and then he came through with his wife or whatever. And I this is before he even released his skates. This was my first time seeing him. I adjusted skates for him with the skate tool and helped him. Like he was having some issues with it. A lot of people didn't even know it was Usher. I knew it was Usher at first because my friend was like, Usher about to be here. So I was like, oh, cool. But he came, he kept the rink open for like literally it wasn't even a lot of people. It was a few people. He had a mask on and stuff. So like I get in a hat, like a bucket hat. So a lot of people didn't know it was him. But yeah, so I got to like skate with him too, so I spent more time there at that session, which was cool. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not the type, I'm not no groupie. I'm just like, I'm just glad that I was able to help you and skate with you and have this good moment. Like we don't have to connect and we don't have to, it just is what it is. So he was super duper cool. And then we had Lena Bird at her. She was so cool. She's so sweet. Everybody already know that, but she's the sweetest person. At her shoot, she was just kind to everybody, like so kind and so humble. But I'll go back to photography and put this with the photography, right? So one of the best sessions I ever had, or one of the most meaningful sessions, was with Martin Luther King III, because it's like I literally grew up hearing about your dad, doing reports on your dad, probably even dressed like your dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, he is why a lot of us are here today. You know what I'm saying? And I got to do your whole photo shoot. I got to meet your family, Martin Luther King's only granddaughter. Like, that is like, was the defining moment for me, like, when it comes to the photography. And he was so cool. Like, he was the coolest. Like, it was crazy. It was a weird. I felt a little weird because I felt imposter syndrome kicked in. It's like, Calvin, what are you doing? Like, why are you here? Like, but literally, it was the best experience, and he was so cool. So anytime I shoot celebrities or work with them, I probably, when it comes to like photography and graphic design and stuff, I've met more and worked with more celebrities than like skating. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? But yeah, they've always been like so cool. I've never had a bad experience. I don't think, not one that I can think of.
Hmm.
But I mean, if it was bad, I remember from the top of my head. So yeah.
Mm. And then it's gotta feel so like there's gotta be a great sense of satisfaction being able to. I mean, it's one thing to meet somebody. It's like, oh, I
Hmm.
met Usher. But
Hmm.
to be able to, I mean, for somebody who's so skilled in so many different areas, to be
Hmm.
able to like help him in your area of expertise and
Yeah.
be able to like, I mean, show something to somebody who was like so influential. That how does that feel to like to be there?
It's so cool. Like for me, honestly, like I'm a weird person. Like if you know me, like I don't get starstruck unless it's Beyonce or Brandy. Then I will be starstruck all day. Those are my two like top. But even like my favorite artist, PJ Morton, I met him several times. He was on my flight. We was on the flight with him to go to his concert.
Wow.
Literally in St. Louis, coming from Atlanta. Like it's crazy. Like who experiences something like that? You going to see this artist and he's on your flight and you can talk to him and we had a good time talking. But for me, like in those situations, I'm always in the moment, which is why it don't feel like I don't know how people think you should feel, but I just feel like I'm in the moment with a cool person because I really look at everybody like God created you just like he created me. And just because you're a celebrity, that doesn't mean he loves you anymore. You know what I'm saying? So I treat everybody with respect. All my clients are grade A clients. All my clients are special. All my clients are top of the line. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I look at it. That's the way I live my life. So interacting with these people, you just really realize like, yo, they're just people like you. They're just people who's talented like you. They just made it or they just got to a certain place. You know what I'm saying? Or got certain opportunities or certain things presented to them, but that don't make them any better. So when I'm in these situations or, getting to work with them, I'm really in the moment and I'm really grateful too. And then I'm just like, thank you, God, that I could be here because a lot of people don't even get to this place. Whether you're doing photography, whether you're skating, a lot of people don't meet these type of people and people who they look up to. And like I said, I'm one who would be more starstruck for somebody who I look up to and I know, and nobody else really care for him or whatever. But I'm still like, oh my God, like I love you, I love your work or whatever. And they're like, oh, thank you, because they may have 5,000 followers on Instagram, but in my eyes, I'm like, oh, you dope, like you that girl or you that guy. So for me, I just make sure I treat everybody with respect. Everybody will, you're gonna get love when you come to me. Period. You know what I'm saying? So I just make sure I treat everybody with love, kindness, and respect. And then I also see the um the potential in everybody too. You may not be a celebrity now, but at the end of the day, you just never know. I've met plenty of people. I did a photo shoot with the guy who won American Idol and didn't know. Like literally
Mm.
Jamal Roberts, who just won the last season of American Idol. I did his photo shoot some years ago. And then, I was watching American Idol, loving this guy. Like, he is dope, watching all his videos on social media, all of that. Like, just a huge fan of this guy. And he won. I'm happy. Great. Did not even know I did a photo shoot with him. But then I'm looking on my computer, looking back at old pictures. And then I'm like, wait, what the hell? Like, this is Jamal Roberts. This is the guy who won American Idol, who I was just like, I didn't vote for him because I didn't watch American Idol like in real time, but I would get, watch the playbacks and stuff like that. And I'm like, wow, like, it was a minute ago, but it was like, hey, that was him. So at the time, nobody knew who he was, including me. But then eventually, as time went on, you see he won American Idol. Now he's on tour with Brandy and Monica, and that's not the end of it. He's going up and up and up. So everybody has potential to be something great. You know what I'm saying? And so if you're just treating people based off of who they are now, you're missing out because everybody has the potential to be, even if you don't know what it is. Look at social media. Half of these people on social media, a lot of them, they were just on a reality show, whether it's baddies or I don't know, love. I don't watch, but people get popular just for being popular, and it's kind of weird. Or on a popular show, so yeah, I don't never look at nobody like, oh, you don't have, or you're not artistic, so you're not gonna make it. Like, no, like there's so many different ways that you can make it, and there's so many different ways that God can use you.
Mhm. And man, it's just and like people you never know what people got going on. And
Mhm.
I mean, and if people are blessed to live a long life, I mean, it's got different chapters. And you can, I
Yeah,
mean, it just you may have met them chapter 2, they may not pop off till chapter 6, but in chapter
later
6 it's
on,
up.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so it's you just never know who people are or will be, you know.
yeah, yep, that's true.
Mm. So your all of these all of these opportunities, all of
Hmm.
the skills that you've like cultivated over the years, you you brought them to New York recently. And
Yeah, yeah.
so what is I watched a video you posted probably like last week or maybe the week before,
Mhm.
and you were talking about how important it was that you got to New York. And um is it something like, can you kind of explain your history with New York, or why was it so important that you made it there? Where's the significance in this place?
Yeah, so New York is just always, I believe in energy. I'm big on energy. So New York is always the feel of it. So, okay, I'll start by saying I know I said I'm from New York, upstate New York, which I am. In
Mhm.
'97, we moved here from Niagara Falls, New York. Now, Niagara Falls is not close to New York City. It is not like New York City. It is not. So, some people are like, oh, you moving to New York, and why are you nervous? You from New York? I'm from all the way New York. Niagara Falls is by Canada. I'm
Oh,
not from
so
New York City,
you
so it's different, right?
Mhm.
Upstate. So, but I've always felt drawn to New York City. I never knew why I love it, the culture, the history, the all of that, right? And when I went to New York for the first time, I literally felt it. I felt it in my bones. I'm like, oh yeah, this is where I'm supposed to be. Couldn't explain it. You know how some people can explain like, oh, it's because of this or because of that, or I have a job. No, I just always felt that energy. I love the hustle. I'm in the midst of pivoting a little bit. So I do want to work more in production and film, television. Of course, you already know it's big with New York. Fashion, I love fashion. So it's like New York has everything, right? So it's just always something I wanted to do since I was 19 years old. I said I was going to move to New York. I had a job working for Securitize, but I ended up leaving that job. So I couldn't transfer jobs. That was going to be my safety net. But time goes on, life goes on, fear settles in, doubt settles in, life happens, and here I am 36 years old and didn't do it. And so literally like a month ago, not a month ago, a month and a half maybe before I moved, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna set a date. I could have set the date 6 months, I could have set it a year, I set it a month and a half away. And I was like, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I don't care. I don't care about the car. I don't care about. I ain't gonna say I don't care about my clients, but it's just like I can't be like, oh, I'm gonna stay here forever for my clients. No, I have to do what's best for me, and so I just did it literally, and I'm figuring it out. Just to be completely honest, like I have a couple of resources here, like a couple people I know or what have you, but I am literally just like thugging it out. Like there's not a certain opportunity. Opportunities are gonna come. I'm a hustler in that way. Like it's just gonna happen because I'm gonna make sure it happens. But some people thought like, did you have a gig or did you have this and that lined up or did you? And it's like, no. I was just like, I literally said Atlanta is gonna kill me if I stay, and I felt it, and I don't care. I felt it in my bones, and it is the truth. Whether Atlanta's going to kill me or I was going to kill myself in Atlanta, I was done. I got to the point to where nothing was working out because no matter what if you plant a seed in the wrong season, why would you expect it to yield fruit? You have
Mhm.
got to follow the directions, right? So for me, I was doing so much. My relationships wasn't working out, and friendships, and everything, right? Like every aspect of my life, my mental health, everything was just like, woof. And I know it's because I was running too long and operating out of fear and not going where I was meant to be. If God wants me to thrive, I need to be where He tells me to be, not hiding out in Atlanta because I'm scared, which it was the case. And I was like, I don't have a job, a 9 to 5, because I'm a freelancer, and I was just like, you know what? I got to the point to where I was like, stop thinking and just do it. So that's like my message to anybody. Just do it because we overthink so much. But if God gives you vision, He's always going to give you provision. That's the thing I'm holding on to while I'm here. And so it's just like, and since I've been here, it's been hard. Anytime you relocate, and I've never been away from my family, it's been tough. You know what I mean? But God is showing Himself to be faithful. I'm provided for. I didn't miss a meal. I'm meeting so many cool people and people who's helping me out. Like, it's just been an experience of growth. I'm growing. I already feel it. I've only been here like 2 weeks and I feel like I've grown so much as a person. You know what I'm saying? Like just finding my way outside. Like, of course, I lived away from home, but that's in Atlanta. You know, I can drive from Norcross or drive from Stone Mountain and see my parents. But here, I'll have to take a flight. So it's an act of faith, but it's something that I had to do. I felt that energy. And when I moved here, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's the right decision. Now it's hard trying to operate that MTA, like trying to figure out public transportation, how to get here, how to get there, how to. It is a lot, you know what I'm saying? On top of finding housing, because I'm not going to sign no lease when I'm in Atlanta. No, I need to feel the area. I need to go feel the community, the neighborhood, the block I'm going to stay on. I need to walk through and make sure that the pictures are not 20 years old. You know, all that good stuff. So it was some things I wanted to do that I couldn't do until I got here. So my biggest thing was, Calvin, just get to New York and figure it out. And God got you. And I really feel that He got my back. And there's going to be some great things coming, but it's just right now I'm literally adjusting. So when people ask like, "How you doing?" I'm doing great. Even the days when I'm frustrated and I'm crying because I miss my family. So I've never missed anybody like this. I miss my family so much. So even the days when I'm like, oh my God, what in the heck? I still feel better than I felt when I was in Atlanta, because Atlanta just ran its course for me. Like Atlanta was good for what it was for when it was for that. You know what I'm saying? My family moved us here from Niagara Falls, and I'm glad, or moved us there from Niagara Falls, and I'm glad they did it. But just because that's what God had for them, or just because the family being in Atlanta was something that they had to do, that doesn't mean that I have to stay there, because I just had to get to the point and realize that Atlanta is just not for me. It was, but it's not suiting me anymore and it's not benefiting me anymore. And I need to be in New York where purpose is and where destiny is. So that's my little story about New York. It goes a little deeper than that, but
Mm,
that's
yeah,
the of it.
yeah. Man, that sounds so like I'm I'm wanting to know what it is about, like, I mean, you said that it was like, um you said that Atlanta had just run its course.
Mhm.
But I guess I ask because, like, what's I mean, there's a lot of people in situations that, like, maybe they feel like they need to get away from, or like, how did you know that it was like a call to action versus just anxiety in your head? Or how did you know that it was like, this is a mission, this is basically a, a call from the higher power? Or,
Mhm.
you know a lot of people say before you let something go, you have to realize why you're holding on. And so,
Mm.
like, what was that thing for you? And, like, I mean, how were you able to kind of discern like the message, and kind of move from there?
It's because I realized that me staying in Atlanta would just be me staying in there out of fear. Um, I've done great things in Atlanta. I loved it. It was wonderful. But me being afraid to step out was hindering me in so many different ways. Even the mental aspect. You know, we talked a few times about mental, and you have to be okay for you mentally. I was to the point to where I could not give my clients what I need to give them. I couldn't be the businessman I wanted to, because it was just too much. The weight of everything, knowing I'm not supposed to be here, knowing there's other things I want to do, there's greater for me. You know what I'm saying? Like it
Mm,
was just um and there was some other stuff, that I don't want to really get into just because it's really, really, really heavy.
mm,
However, it's in those moments where I just had to draw closer to God, and I really was like, look, order my steps, and really I had to put that trust into action, because you hear a lot of times like you got to trust God and you hear it all the time, and it's kind of like cliche, but what about when you get to the point to where literally your livelihood depends on trusting God? That's where I'm at right now. It's
mhm,
literally where I'm at now. And that's where I was at in Atlanta, where it's like, if I don't leave this place, I am literally going to go crazy. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like you have to kind of like evaluate why are you still here? I had to say, like, Calvin, why are you still here? What is benefiting you? The only thing I can think of, I'm not gonna lie, it was two things. A, my family. Mom, dad, sister, brother, of course, cousins, and I love them, but like my immediate family is like we're really close. So it was my family number one, and then the other thing number two. Stay in Atlanta is like nowhere else. Even here, even though I love Branch Brook. That's in Jersey. Sundays is crazy, but skating in Atlanta is we are spoiled in Atlanta because you can go to an adult night any day of the week. There's almost a skating rink. I ain't gonna say on every corner, but there's so many. You got 25 different sparkles.
Yep.
You got so many different starlights. Of course, you got your Golden Glide. Of course, we don't got skate along anymore, but you got your Golden Glide, you got your Cascade, you got your Stone Mountain, you got your Skate Zone. I love Skate Zone. Shout out to y'all, my family. So there's so many rinks to choose from, and here the only rinks I could skate at is Branch Brook, that's in Jersey, which is, a travel from New York, but it's not too bad, but it's long enough. And then you have Xanadu. I haven't been there yet, but I'm a try them. They're a newer rink in Brooklyn. So the things that were keeping me was that. And I'm like, is that enough to keep me from purpose? Is skating enough to keep me from destiny? No, it's not. Is my family or missing my family enough to keep me from destiny? No, because guess what? We got FaceTime. We have airplanes. We have ways that we can travel and see each other. We could talk to them. But my family knew. They knew I wasn't right. Like they knew so much was going on and I wasn't going to be okay until I operated in purpose, in destiny. You know what I'm saying? And so when I told them my plans, they understood. They were sad, but it's like they understood. So yeah, like for me, I just had to really kind of just like evaluate, like, okay, what is it that is keeping me here? And why can't I leave? And I have a greater story. I've been documenting actually every day I've been recording, documenting. I know a lot of people haven't seen a lot from me since I've been here, but I've been documenting, and I'm going to do like I don't know if it's gonna be like a YouTube channel or something like that to tell the story, but it's been quite interesting, and I just can't wait to share my story with everybody else. And the funny thing is, when I said I'm moving, I found out so many of my friends were moving. Like I had my friend Tracy, she's in a Broadway production now. So she's amazing. I don't know if you're familiar with the Pace sisters. They're gospel royalty, but LaShawn Pace, who sung "There's a Leak in This Whole Building," like that's her song. So
Mhm.
her sister is Tracy, so she's been a part of so many productions. She's one of my favorite actresses. She's here. I was like, what? She's my client. I've been shooting that family
Mm.
for a minute now. You know what I'm saying? And so she was like, she asked me, she was like, she wanted to shoot before she leave and go to New York. And I'm like, wait, what? I leave in a month to move to New York. So she's here. Then I
Mm.
have another friend. I have quite a few friends actually who moved here. So, and then I have other friends who relocate into different places. And I literally just talked to a skate friend. I talked to Vontae today. Um, but he was telling me like, dang, it seemed like there's a creative shift. He was like, there's so many people moving to New York from Atlanta or moving out of Atlanta. And I'm like, you know what? I noticed that, but and then I even had, and not to put anybody out there, but I had a couple family members who were telling me like they were toying around with the idea of relocation and stuff. And it's just like they shared it with me because I'm doing this journey. And so it's like me obeying and doing what I need to do is freeing other people to do what they
Mhm.
need to do and freeing them to know that they'll be all right. Because look, I'm here and I'm doing all right. I'll be all right. I'll be crying
Mhm.
a lot. I've never cried so much in my life since I made that announcement that I'm moving. It's like I cry almost every day. Of course, it's about missing family and stuff, but frustrations. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm in a whole new city, starting over in my 30s. Not even just in my 30s. I'm 36. I'm closer to 40. A lot of people who
Mhm.
come to New York. to, start over, to find this or find that. A lot of them are in their early 20s or just graduated and leaving from a small town to go to the big city. I am 36 years old who had to leave everything and take a few suitcases, maybe 4 suitcases and a couple bags, and come up here. I'm really rebuilding. Like, I had to leave so much back at home, including people, including plans that I was doing, including business ideas I've had. It's a lot more than people think. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then I'm sure that a lot of the emotion probably come from like a release, of like having to
Ooh,
endure
mhm.
all of the time when you wanted to go and you couldn't or you didn't, and like
Yeah,
you're here and you're able to like, let all of that stuff flow off now, and so
yeah.
it's like a
I
backlog.
can.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
I'll be looking around. I literally be walking around the block like, what? I really did it. It's crazy. And then people telling me, I was just talking to another person, my cousin's aunt, who she's here. She's in Brooklyn too. Wonderful. She's been helping me so much. But I was talking to her too about that same thing. Just feeling a relief. But it's funny though, because God knows what you need, even when you don't know. Because even though I do feel relief, there's something I can't get too comfortable because I'm still human. Sometimes when I get comfortable, I don't grind as hard as I know I need to, whatever. So God keeps me on my toes, like He's working. Things are working out for me. You know what I'm saying? They really are, but it's not like everything is sunshine and rainbows because you get too comfortable if it's sunshine and rainbows. When you have to really grind and go after it, it's just gonna be a little gritty. And it's been gritty and it is gritty, but guess what? I am a hard worker. I'm built for this. Like, the experiences of my life has brought me to this point to where I feel like I'm ready. And I just feel like I'm ready. I know I'm ready. So I cry for a moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not one who like, oh, I don't cry because I'm mad. No, I cry. And then guess what? I get up, dust it off, and keep going. And guess what? Even when I cry, a lot of people won't see, like, my parents may hear it in my voice, you know what I'm saying? And then I try to hang up real quick, like, okay, I'll talk to y'all later. And then I have to hang up real quick, you know what I'm saying? But there's power in vulnerability, like in your testimony and sharing what it is you've been through and what it is you're going through. It's power in that. And it can free so many people to do what they thought they couldn't do because they see you doing it. And
yeah.
it's possible. You don't need a whole lot of money to follow your purpose and destiny. You just need creativity because you got to get creative and you just need that drive and then everything will work itself out. But in the city, like, I have to think, like, in a city like New York where there's so many opportunities and somebody like me who do so much in the art field, there's always going to be something for me. So that's not the issue. My biggest thing is finding the right thing that's for me, which is what I'm kind of doing now, trying to see like what is right for me in the art field.
You spoke, well, whenever we spoke earlier, you mentioned that you're doing more workshops now. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yes. So I teach photography. I teach a lot. I'm a teacher by heart. Anytime I do something, I learn. Just like I'm a skate instructor, I'm also a graphic design instructor and I'm a photography instructor. I used to do photography workshops. It's called the Next Step Photography Workshop. I call it the next step because it's like once you get your camera, people be like, "What's the next step?" I got you, so I'm gonna tell you the next step. So I've been doing that. My last one was probably a couple years ago, maybe a few years ago. It's been a minute since I did my last one, and I decided to bring it back, but it's virtual. My sister gave me the idea. She like, of course, it wouldn't be beneficial to do it in person here. I got to build my clientele, and people got to know who I am. I got to build here first. But I got people from all around the world who love what I do. You know what I'm saying? Or all around the country too. So it's like, she inspired me to go ahead and do it digital. So I had the next step virtual photography workshop coming up. So I'm going to be doing it periodically. So my first one is going to be in 2 weeks, but it starts October 1st. But I'll be doing it periodically for sure, like on a monthly basis. So it's just me teaching photography, teaching everybody, of course, the exposure triangle and how to shoot in manual mode and get out of auto mode. But I'm talking about posing, composition. I'm going to be talking about lighting and everything. So it's going to be a digital photography workshop. And I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, it sounds very like very thorough, and
Yeah.
that's like the type of classes that I enjoy because especially with virtual classes because of the ease that like you can start them up pretty easily because like you can just kind of you
Yeah.
can set up a little spot where they can register and then at
Hmm.
that point you can just kind of do whatever and so people kind of they'll take advantage of that and just kind of give you a little bit and like send you on
Yeah.
your way because it's easy
Uh-uh.
but I like
Yeah.
that you go into the details because I'm one that asks a lot of questions, especially when it comes to using, equipment and things and stuff I'm not familiar with, especially if it's expensive. Because then I'm like, I
Yeah.
want to make sure I
Real.
do it right. I want to make sure I don't tear it up. I want to make sure I can do a good job. And so like that's good that you're going to that level of
Yeah.
like just explanation and then even you're not showing people, oh, this is how you use a camera,
Hmm.
like this is the way you should use a camera. It's like you're telling them how to operate a camera.
There we
And then
go.
you're like
Yeah.
letting the creativity flow through them, and that's
Mhm.
that's a big part of it. I think people want people to like, oh, do it like me. And it's like, no, just this is
Right.
how it works. But you do your thing.
I'm giving you the tools. What you do with the tools is up to you. I'm giving you everything. I'm giving you all of me. I don't hold back. I
Mhm.
teach everything. Like I teach everything I know. I'm not one. Oh, I'm gonna teach you some things. I can't teach you everything. No, because there's a million ways to draw a square. So
Yep.
just because I teach you that way, that doesn't mean that you're gonna take my spot or my slot. No, you're just gonna build upon it and do your own thing. So yeah, if anybody's interested, I'm going to be doing them. www.calvinfinklea.com/workshops, or you can just go on my website and see some of the work that I'm doing. But I'm really, really, really excited about that, and expanding my reach and teaching people everywhere how to use that camera.
Mhm. I'm putting a link to that in the chat right now.
Thank you
People
so
can
much. I
see that.
appreciate that.
Absolutely. Um, so are there any other or I know that you didn't have a main goal at first,
Mhm,
whenever I asked you before, back
mhm.
then, but after some time has passed and you've had more experience and I mean even with this relocation,
Yes.
have you have you started any sort of objective for yourself here or are
Ooh,
tell me about like what's your main quest essentially?
I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest with you. My main quest right now is finding an apartment.
Mhm,
That's just the main find an apartment and but no, really, connecting with my tribe, finding my people. Like in Atlanta, if I want to do a little test shoot or just have fun, I know who to call. I know who to, go to, but here I don't know people like that. And
mhm,
so, I've been using like Facebook groups, they're really helpful in that sense. But one of my biggest things is to build a community for me, and it's just
mhm,
like I just want to get because I thrive off of, community, off of people helping one another. So that's my biggest thing. It's just like to find the right people, to network with the right people, to find the right clientele,
mhm,
all that. But yeah, number one is to find a place to put over my head. I mean, I'm staying somewhere, but it's like it's not mine. So
mhm,
I ain't gonna
mhm,
be. I'm like, look, this New York life. That's it. Be real. Like looking for this housing and stuff like that. I'm like, Lord have mercy.
mhm. You'll find it though, I'm sure. I have
Well,
no
yeah.
doubt.
I'm in the process. I've seen a couple places. One of them, I was like, "Oh my god, it looked like a crime scene up in here." Like, how you?
Mm.
Yeah, so and I'm like, I thought that was gonna be a good one. I'm like, yes, I found one. I walked in, and that's why, like I said, it's important for me to walk in and view and not look at those old pictures that people are posting because I was like, I cannot be comfortable up here. So I'm finding it's just about finding the right place, and I'm not about to settle. So that's the thing. I'm not about to settle for the wrong place, but I'm also not going to settle for the wrong people being in my life because I promise you, I'm not desperate for a friend. I got plenty of friends and family in Atlanta, right? So I'm
Mhm.
not going to be like, oh, let me connect to you just because I don't know nobody else. No, if your energy or vibe is off, please stay away from me,
Yeah.
please,
Yeah,
because
for
this
sure.
city's not going to change me. I'm here to be a light in the city.
Yeah,
I'm not here for the city to dim mine. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely. I know some people in New York. I'm not sure how well y'all will connect because they are like it's just in a different space, but
Yeah.
there's people over Graph Tours Brooklyn, and they
Okay.
basically do I went up there and I painted a mural for them once, and their business is touring people through the artsy part of New York to like it's basically
Nice.
just taking them on like a street art tour. And there's people
Nice.
who are like, graffiti heads, they're writers, then you got people who are like painting
Yeah.
murals and things, and it's just like a whole artsy block of town and they just that's their thing. They run tours and then they also go and they teach people how to write graffiti like in the studio upstairs or out back in behind the building. But I mean
Ooh.
they're really cool people. It's two of the main people, a guy named Gabe and a woman named Audrey, and they're both very, very great people. But they're big in like graffiti and like writing and but they do like to paint and they love artsy, creative people. And so I
Oh,
mean I'll connect you two and just see if
sure.
y'all, if there's anything there,
I appreciate that. I definitely
Absolutely.
appreciate that for sure.
Yeah, because I know that like Audrey in particular is super connected with everything creative in New York. Like
Yeah.
she's an old lady too, and so she's been around for a long time. She's seen a lot of people
Yeah.
go up and down, and she knows that city and she knows those people. And so
I love oh,
even if so,
yeah.
I'm sure she'll be able to like connect some lines here and
Yeah.
there. So yeah, she's one of those ones.
I appreciate that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I
Hmm.
love to meet all kinds. You can learn from anybody, and then, like I said, just because like one person knows the other person, so just because we're in two different fields, I'm sure she knows or they know people who are in my field who I could benefit from. So I would love that. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. But yeah. Um, so trying to think. Man, we've talked about so many things. Is there anything that you think we've missed?
You know what? You are an awesome interviewer. Is that what you would consider yourself, or a podcaster? You are
One of those two.
awesome. Like you covered all bases. You talked about everything I do. I can't think of anything else. Like even from like when we talked earlier. Like everything was so well like done. Everything I feel comfortable. Um, you asked awesome questions. You didn't overtalk. Like you are that dude. Like you're awesome.
Man,
So
thank you.
we covered all bases. I'm just grateful, and once again, I appreciate you. Anything I could do to help you already know I'm a phone call away. I'm some states away, but I'm a phone call away. You and Gia, oh my goodness, please send my love to her. She is such a great person. Like you found a gem. You found a
Yeah.
gem in that girl. Me and my brother is obsessed. Like we love her, but yeah, yeah,
Man, same to y'all, man. We always love pulling up to the rink and seeing either
yeah,
of you or both of you. It's always a good
yeah.
time whenever y'all are there,
I'll be
man.
back in November because
Okay.
guess I'm coming. I'm coming Thanksgiving. I can't miss Thanksgiving. I can't
Oh,
miss
of
Thanksgiving,
course.
and I'm gonna be there for Christmas too. I'm actually gonna be there for a little more than longer than a week for Thanksgiving time. So
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, definitely. We definitely got to connect, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, I have a closing tradition on the podcast where because of the name Vertex, it
Mhm.
serves as the meeting point between two places, and I want to give you the opportunity to attempt to connect to any entity in the world, any person, place, or thing possible, and I will do my best to connect you to. The connection is not guaranteed, but it is the
Yeah.
attempt is.
You know what? Here's the funny thing. This I be moving. What you said you're gonna do is connect me to your Audrey, is that her name?
Audrey.
Audrey. Listen, that is good enough because I was thinking, I'm like, like, when you told me, I'm like, I really don't know. I had something kind of in my mind because I don't like to just like leave things on the table or not like give an answer if somebody's asking me a question.
Mhm.
But honestly, like just you providing your resources in the New York world, the art space, that is good enough. If you could connect me with anybody, especially like models and anybody, even if they're not a
Mm.
model, even if it's just somebody who look like they could be a model, I really just want to go out into the city and have fun, take pictures of people, even of murals. I don't care. I just want to network with people and have a good time. So that's what you can assist me with. Look, if
Absolutely.
anything, and you said you
Got you.
would, and so we got it. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that actually reminded me of somebody who's in New York. I haven't spoken to them in years, but I think they're still in New York, and they do photography and videography as well. And so like that could be
Okay,
another point of connection too.
that for
But
sure.
I have to look him up and see just to make sure he's still in New York. But if he is,
Right.
I'll definitely connect y'all.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm greatly appreciative.
Absolutely. Well, shoot, thank you so much for this conversation, and thank you
Thank you.
for even being the person you are. You know, I think it's always a good time to be able, like, to see the way that you light up a room, even a rink, a
Thank
space, a
you.
place. I mean, that's something that's so inspirational. I've always wanted to have that type of like feel to me. I feel like I'm a little bit more reserved. Like I'm just
Mhm.
kind of a little bit uh little too quiet sometimes to be able to, unless I'm very comfortable. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's just there's a way that you're able to just reach out and connect with anybody and
Uh,
everybody, make them feel comfortable and make them
Thank you.
feel like welcome and seen. And I just really appreciate that about you. And
Uh,
I wish you the best and just good luck with
Thank
everything that you
you,
got going on up there.
my friend. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I feel inspired. I feel uplifted. Like, look, I'm
Ah,
ready to take on New York, and I
hey,
appreciate that. Thank you so much. This
absolutely.
has been a pleasure. Anytime, look, just hit me up.
Absolutely. Well, shoot. Thank you so much, man.
My pleasure.
All right. Well, we're gonna find somebody to raid. Oh, G just put in the chat. Love you, Calvin.
Love you. Love you, friend. Oh my God. I miss you. I can't wait to see you. I can't wait to see y'all when I come back. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So think
There's so
she's just
much.
got out of work. Yeah. Cool. I'm
Yeah,
glad she was
okay, for
able
sure.
to catch some of the stream.
Look, right on time because this phone is hanging on by a thread. When I say right on time, it's probably 2%.
Ooh, it's probably
See,
hot.
you real good at this. Look, you felt it. Look.
And
All right, my friend. I'll talk to you later. You take care.
all right, man. Same to you.
All right. Bye bye.
All right.